Schmack-a-magob, it's me, Dr. Fuck, and with me is...
Oh, yeah! The Ayatollah Alcoholic Ian Wadley.
And this
What's
is...
up, bro?
I'm doing great, bro. This is the first Rock and Metal Combat Podcast official, where it's just me and you.
Yeah, just the two of us.
Just the two of us. Terrence and Jacobs. All right. So Ian, we got any of those iTunes reviews?
Oh, do we?
I don't know why I never check my iTunes reviews for my podcast. I suck. Ian's more on the ball. I'm a slacker.
Well, we have a plethora of them. We have some brand new ones, and then we have some ones while we were on our hiatus, but still pertain to our, our era of the show. And we got some great ones here. This first one is from Jeff Wildman Beers. I like that.
Yeah, I like that because he sounds like a crazy drunk.
He left us a 5-star review entitled "It's Totally Radical."
Hell yeah, that proved my point right there.
He says, and I quote, "Dude, this podcast is totally rad. They talk about some rockin' stuff, and it's rad. Totally my favorite podcast to crack open a 12-pack to and jam out to at work. This podcast is definitely a Babe Magnet podcast.
Yeah.
Right on, dude."
Fuck yeah, man. I love him, man. I love that alcoholic. That ruled. Fuck yeah. What's his name again?
Jeff Wildman Beers.
Jeff Wildman Beers, right there. Already, in 10 seconds, he has become a legend, a lure in the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast.
I love, because that sounds like somebody who would enjoy the album we're going to talk about later in this episode. You know, he sounds like he's in that frame of mind.
Oh, shit. When he finds out we're doing Fair Warning, he's going to be like, shit, I'm buying a fucking 24. I'm buying a case. I'm buying a keg for this one.
He's gonna go old school, get a Coors Light party ball, and take it to work.
That's a wild man. He'll do it because he's wild.
He's wild, man. But then we go to one, and I tell you what, I love these as almost as much as the great ones. This is a 1-star review from from Antron 33.
Andrew Jacobs.
And it's entitled "Mostly Garbage. Production quality as bad as talent." Then he goes on to say, and I quote, "I was very excited prior to listening because they had shows on a lot of bands I used to listen to."
Poser! Hey, that 1-star review is a pride. What a poser. So we're getting slammed by a poser that used to like these bands. Now poser.
Now he likes Mumford and Sons.
He goes, I don't even know who that is, but that's funny, man. Mumford and Sons. It sounds like a crack version of Sanford and Sons.
Yeah, but it's wider, much wider.
Oh, wait a second. Mumford and Sons are white?
And they're English. They're about as white as the cop on Sanford and Son. Remember that?
yeah, the guy that was trying to be ghetto. That's rule. I had the whole complete fucking season of that goddamn show.
I love it. Well, he goes on to say, "I listened to about 10 episodes before writing this review. Not much positive to say about it. Though very knowledgeable about most of the subject matter they are speaking about, conversations inevitably devolve into stupid homophobic comments." What a fag. The best comparison that comes to mind is any sort of local radio morning guys that, in quotes, push the limits. It's just so contrived and stupid. Easily the worst music-related podcast I have listened to.
You know those DJs that push the limit. He wished those DJs would push their cack up his gay butt.
Yeah,
because he's gay. He's fruity.
Yeah. Yeah. You made us this way, God damn it. We didn't want to go there with our juvenile humor, but you made us.
I mean,
You
people
made
like you give us, people like him give us so much material. What does he expect?
Oh. But
By the
then we
way, fuck your feelings. What's his name again? Homo Boy 26. Fuck your feelings, Homo Boy 26.
Antron 33.
Antron. Yeah. And it's Swahili for enter my anus
Yeah. Yeah.
26 times.
Just so happens 33 is the same number of guys your mom took on Maury to find your father. Sorry. Sorry, nothing worked out.
Oh man, that's too funny. You know, it'll be mine going on Maury because you know it'll be mine. That'll suck.
That would be great if he finds out you're his dad. Oh shit.
Yeah, Homo Boy 23 is my dad. His dad. I'm his dad.
And then he'll really be sore when he finds out we don't make any money off this shit.
Fucking moron.
God.
Man. What he's a disgrace to the homosexuals. They're all smart. What's up with this guy?
Yeah. Guys who suck dick that taste like shit have better taste than you, Antoine.
Oh man, but come on, you're gonna tell me he's never tasted shit on a dick?
Oh. All right, well, back to some good reviews. Now, this one, short.
I like bad ones. Bad ones are pretty good.
Yeah, and we don't get them a lot, so it's nice when we read them.
Yeah, it's always a blast.
I'll get into one later that in between our last show, there was 2 reviews from the same person that were taken down. I should have done a screenshot, but he can't make up his mind because he goes back and forth more than his wife at a glory hole. But we'll get to that later.
Fuck.
But this next one's from JD Sauceville, a 5-star review entitled "They're Back."
Hell yeah!
He simply says, "RMCP 2021 Rebirth." But it's a 5-star review. It's quick. It's to the point. Yes, we are back. And it is a positive iTunes review, and I appreciate it.
Hell yeah. That was an awesome review. I loved it. 2 thumbs up to, what's his name again?
JD Sauceville.
CJD, Jack Daniels. That's my drink of choice. You know the guy rules.
Hell yeah.
Jack Daniels Sauceville.
All right. Well, our next one is another 5-star review. This one coming from Trash Burner. And it's entitled "Love the Show."
Yeah.
And he says, and I quote, "Show rules. Glad to hear you guys are back. Do more Beatles, please. And some Wings reviews would be great."
Oh, and, that'd be awesome. I love the Wings.
Oh, yeah. Those are 2 bands we would both love to talk about. And yeah, I could definitely see some future reviews on those.
Yeah.
Especially as we get back into talking about albums we want to review.
Yeah.
And we love taking those detours and talking about shit that, isn't the norm on here, but still, bands we're very passionate about one way or another. So thank you, Trash Burner. Great review.
Yeah. Trash Burner. He burns people in the trash that used to like this music.
Okay, now this last one, 5-star review, great way to end it. I never heard of this guy's Wadzilla 74. This one is entitled "The Podcast Kings," and he says very, very eloquently, and I quote, "This is simply the best podcast ever. Makes me wish I was like Andrew and Terrence and could sit at home all day listening because I collect disability. It's not fair that I have to work for a living and not get paid just to be crazy and lazy. My favorite part of the show is when Ralph and Wadzilla," notice how he put Ralph first? This guy knows the show.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Yeah. My favorite part of the show is when Ralph and Wadzilla drag Piggy Jacobs out of her pen and let the fan of the week drop a Kansas City hot plate on her chest. Everybody wins on the mighty RMCP.
Ooh, yeah, that guy rules, man. Man, he idolizes you, dude. Look at his game. Man, that was awesome. I love the Kansas City hot plate and Andrew Jacobs connection there because he's had a lot of hot Kansas City hot plates. It's the best thing, man. Kansas City hot plates. I'm gonna give her a Kansas City hot plate. That shit's nasty, whatever it is.
I was going to mention there was 2 other reviews from Andrew Jacobs. Andrew Jacobs has written no less than 26 reviews for this podcast. And what happens if you leave one, if you've got one iTunes account, all you can do is rewrite a review. You can't keep adding them. So he just keeps changing it with what he thinks is, funny or witty, and they all fail miserably. But he took his last one down again, and God, I want to rip on this guy so much more, but here's the downside of what we do. And you know this, Ralph. Sometimes we get accused of what's called in this pussy day and age, cyberbullying. And
have we? I haven't even seen that.
Yeah, we've got accused of that. With Andrew.
We're cyberbullying. Well, Andrew and Terrence are the ones that come at us. Cyberbullying is when you just bully on somebody that did nothing to you, or somebody that that doesn't deserve it. Is cyberbullying. These guys aren't being cyberbullied. We're just retaliating. And you know what, Ian? I was just thinking this as you were about to talk about Andrew Jacobs' review. He loves when we talk about him. He loves it. He gets attention. Attention he never gets anywhere. But at the same time, it's like, I don't care if he enjoys it or not. I enjoy it even more bringing up this dude and his stupid hypocrisy. And I can't wait to hear what this idiot wrote. This is going to be hysterical. The guy is fucking... Dude, I'm sorry. I have to bring this up. I don't know if you saw it. Somebody put up on Facebook a video of Andrew Jacobs at a gas station talking about the hardcore scene. Something like that. Have you seen that?
No, you told me about a little bit about it, but I haven't seen it.
Monotone. The guy has like zero personality, and I know the whole wife is a joke thing, but come on, the guy ain't married. But we'll continue with the wife shit. Why the fuck not?
Well, no, actually, well, I don't know if he's still married.
No, he's not married no more. He's not. He's not. He is. Well, if he is, then he's ashamed of that pig wife because his Facebook says he's not in a relationship.
Oh, she dumped him again. She got tired of supporting him. I don't know if a lot of people know this, and this is sad. Well, normally it's sad, but I hate those like anti-smoking commercials, where they got the voice box and everything, and they show you that to get you to not smoke.
Right.
His wife or ex-wife, whatever you want to call it, she had one of those added. Not because she smoked, but she just needed another hole to stick cock in to support the two of them. Because he doesn't work. He claims that both him and Terrence do not work. All right, they collect disability, unemployment, and especially like somebody like Terrence, who this guy can do all this shit. All these YouTube. I don't even know how to fucking upload a fucking video to YouTube, but this asshole does. But yet he can't work a fucking job. Yeah. Okay, the same with Andrew Jacobs. I can't work a job. All these people upset about these Mexican kids crossing the border and getting to see a fucking doctor. You're pissed about paying for that. What about paying for these motherfuckers to sit at home all day? Terrence doesn't have to do anything but fucking use your tax dollars to buy Supertramp remasters and do horrible reviews. But he can do all that, but you telling me he can't work even the most, menial task job? It's bullshit. And these guys are sponges on society. Worse than anything else you get upset that you see on the TV is cocksuckers like this. But
yeah, go ahead.
But I got worried this week because we also live in a day and age of cancel culture, and you can get in trouble for what you say, you can get sued. And apparently we broke Andrew Jacobs yet again. I got a call from, she said she was his wife. it's hard to understand with that fucking voice box. But anyway, I guess he attempted suicide. And I don't want it to get blamed on us, but apparently this dude, Ahmad Asimama Baba, who works the check cashing place where Andrew goes every week to cash his disability check, he called the cops because Andrew hadn't been in there. And, nobody could get a hold of his wife because she was off, shooting a video, gang bang my fucking voice box 7. So police showed up. Police showed up at his door, knocked down the door, found him unresponsive. But it turns out he just passed out watching a Terrence video. It put him right to fucking sleep. But
hey,
you know what I don't want it to come back to us.
Yeah, no. We had nothing to do with it. It was all Terrence. Terrence is to blame for everything. But, I mean, you got to be pretty goddamn stupid if you can't upload a video on you. He's dumber than Terrence.
Hey, I can't do it either. Goddamn, I'm a fucking moron.
Yeah, that's true.
God damn, I want to get Andrew's wife on here. I know
it's easy to get Andrew's wife anywhere.
Yeah, you can get her in the throat, in the hole below her throat, in the ass. I
gotta admit, I have to admit, I'm a little jealous of Andrew because I would love to marry a girl like that. That would open an extra hole for another cack. Yeah, you all think I'm crazy, but fuck you and fuck your jealousy. I want my wife fucking have more pricks on her than a porcupine and more balls on her nose like a fucking circus seal. That's my dream wife.
Yeah, and to have a woman that's willing to do that because you won't go out and get a fucking job.
Shit, I'll work for that for sure.
You wonder why we need illegal labor. It's because motherfuckers like Terrence and fucking Andrew won't go out and get a fucking job. The Mexicans do the jobs that Americans won't. Like fuck Andrew's wife. It's hard to find an American that'll do that.
One day I'm going to meet Andrew's wife, right? And we're going to go to church and get married, and then the preacher's going to look at her and say, "Do you promise to dig Dr. Fuck and all his friends?" And then when they ask me, when I say I do, the whole fucking church says I do, yeah, because they're all going to bang her too.
Yeah,
my dream marriage.
We'll all domo arigato, Mrs. Roboto. Yeah, it feels good.
I do.
Dirty fucking hua. I mean, seriously, who would fuck that guy even for a little bit? No wonder she eats fish.
That to me is what makes her even hotter. That she would fuck a fucking droid like that. I'm like, she'll fuck anything.
Well, and that's the thing. He's a notorious, masochist and woman hater.
Yeah.
He should worship that there's any woman that would fuck him. He should thank all women for having that low of self-esteem.
Yeah, man. Woman hating, turtle looking douchebag that did not appreciate his wife sucking 12 cocks at the same time. You prude.
You mean my freckles?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What the fuck is that on his face? Seriously. It's not fucking freckles. It's just not, man. That's some weird skin disease, bro. He licks doorknobs.
It's fucking liver spots because your old lady shoots up.
Wow, that's even hotter, man. You're turning me on with this fucking all this Andrew Jacob White talk. Sounds like my fucking soulmate right there, man.
Oh, fuck. But I know we're at the end of the iTunes reviews, but you said somebody sent you something pretty awesome, huh?
Yeah.
You want to share?
I like to share this. Let me pull up the picture. I like to share this. This is something somebody sent me on Facebook. And it was a comment he left Terrence on YouTube, but like obviously when he left it, I even see the time on here, 42 seconds after he posted it. He took a screen cap because Terrence was going to delete this.
Right.
And the guy's name on YouTube is Dickhead.
I think I know
So
this guy.
yeah, Dickhead wrote, "I'm going back to the Rock and Metal Combat podcast. Dot dot dot. Drab, drab and bland like beige wallpaper. I'd have more fun stapling my nutsack to a wall and then trying to figure out how to get myself out of the situation I put myself into. Watching that garbage, watching your garbage. By the way, you're not a music fan. Stop calling yourself one. All I hear is negative comments, negative ripping on Aerosmith and Britney Spears and ripping on Crew, ripping this, ripping that. Shit, you got so much hate spewed out of your mouth when you're talking about music, almost as much as when you talk about the Jews and any other colors that ain't white, that are then white. All right. And then then he caps it off with this. By the way, oh wait, I already read that part. Also, I think I've heard the information before as I'm listening to it. I'm reading word for word what you say on your podcast from a CD booklet. Plagiarism. It's so disrespectful to say who has and doesn't have a mental illness. Mariah Carey doesn't have a mental illness. Yikes. One to talk. Also, you're not a doctor, goof. Review. Don't diagnose. Dr. Fuck is more real and doctor than you. Now that's pretty bad because if anybody got sick, they'd die. I ain't no doctor. That was from Dickhead. I love that comment.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
I encourage all of our listening audience to subscribe to the TJR Rock Sponge page on YouTube and the Terrence Reardon and Friends page on YouTube. And every time he puts out a video, put a big fucking fat dislike on there. You can leave a comment if you want. He's going to delete it.
It'll disappear.
But
Except for one comment.
Yeah, you put those dislikes on there and he'll lose his fucking mind. And that's what we really want to do. We want to get him off of fucking the internet and into the workforce.
Oh,
Stop
God.
this shit and go get a fucking job, you motherfucker.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you can go back on YouTube, but have every intro of a video of you working. Yeah. Like flipping that burger. We want a video of you flipping burgers and we'll leave you alone. That, hey, it's the Terrence and quote unquote Friends podcast. And just have video of you flipping burgers with your little McDonald's hat on. And then we'll be like, all right, we'll leave him alone now. He's fucking finally out in the workforce. But till then, dislike everything the fucker puts up. Fuck him.
Right. And to all you people who think we're being too mean, you know what's mean is him using his so-called disabilities as an excuse for everything, because there are a lot of people out there who do suffer from different, disabilities, be it physical or mental, that work jobs, that contribute to society, that don't use this shit as a crutch, that in spite of what they have, make the most of themselves and are productive members of society and are just basically decent fucking people. So when he goes on there and looks for sympathy and says all this shit, that's just, that's spitting in the face of all these other people who achieve all kinds of greatness in spite of everything. So fuck him, fuck Andrew Jacobs, and fuck his wife. Pick a hole, any hole. There's fucking 4 of them.
I'm down. I don't care if I'm 50th in line. I'm down.
Yeah. Hashtag rape the trach. Let's get that going.
Yeah. Hashtag dickhead rules.
You mean my freckles?
Hey, Ian. Hey, Ian. I tell it like it is. I'm like a minstrel.
Yeah.
That is the catchphrase I'm gonna hopefully remember throughout every fucking episode. I tell it like it is. I'm like a minstrel. Except when I tell it like it is, it ain't complete, xenophobe and racist comments like he does. I'll be telling it as it is in other forms where it's not racist and actually non-stupid.
I tell you, I saw a video of Terrence somebody posted the other day, and for all the, the anti-Semitic shit, the anti-gay, black, anything that ain't white shit that he puts out there. I found something even more offensive than that was this drum video that he put up.
I saw it.
Oh my God, that is. I couldn't make it all the way through, but I did have to fast forward a little bit to see if it got any better. That is the worst shit ever.
I hate when he was playing those drums. I was like, it sounds like somebody's dribbling a basketball. It's really, it's like so like all over the place. It's like, what the fuck is he doing? He sounds worse than me, and I suck on drums. I can do Ain't That a Shame in the beginning.
I heard when people make fun of Ricky Rackett, he shows them that video. He's like, really? I'm that bad?
Yeah, that's what Ricky Rackman's going to rip that video and put it up going, see, I'm not bad. And that guy has the nerve to talk about Poison.
Yeah.
We can talk about Poison, not him.
Yeah. We're better drummers than Ricky Rackett, not you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now it's time for the news. And here's something that's going to be going on. Well, by the time you hear this, it'll be last week. But on Saturday, March 27th, it's the return of The Ball with Ricky Rackman. Have you heard about this, Ralph?
I think so. You know what? It's vaguely, I think I did see him say something about it, but it's a radio thing, right? It's not TV, right?
Well, it's a radio app, and I tell you what, I downloaded it to watch it because I'll check it out and see what it is. It's
it's videos.
Well, it's a station. It's an app. It's an app called Give Me Metal.
Ooh,
but what
I
you
like
can
that.
do is with with modern technology, with modern TVs, you can cast from your phone to your TV. And you can watch it, but I believe it's going to be like the same setup of him, talking, introducing videos. There may be some, guests that he interviews and stuff. But something we have not talked about yet is we're going to be at Rockin' Pod 4, and joining us there will be Ricky Rackman, who you made a very notorious video about.
Oh, he ain't gonna be happy to see me. It's gonna rule. Roll video cameras. I might make money if he socks me.
Yeah, I think we should interview him. I think we should interview him.
I don't know, Ian. You know what? It'll be like the Michael Sweet scenario. You interview him. You don't want me there, dude.
Well, I would look. Apparently, there's going to be a lot of MTV VJs.
Yeah, Mark Goodman. Mark Goodman, right?
Mark Goodman, Matt Pinfield.
Yeah.
And,
see, those two I like.
And I believe there's one other. I could be wrong. And I know some of the logistics are still being filled out on that. But that's another thing. I guess we should really talk about this before we get into the news. Is Rockin' Pod 4? It's official. Ralph and I are going to be there. And, man, I was really surprised because, when Sinzak told me he's going forth with it, I was like, wow, during the pandemic and everything, I wonder how it'll be. Man, he sold out already. The podcasters are full. The most podcasts he's ever had at a Rockin' Pod. The guests are pouring in. And we already have a lot of listeners at this point of recording this that have already committed to going, that have bought their tickets, have bought their, their hotel rooms and everything. And Sinzak put up an incredible offer on, I thought it was neat that he did it not on our personal page, but we have we have the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast Facebook page. And then there's ones that the fans did while you and me were on hiatus, just to show you the dedication of our listeners. They started out their own RMCP Army page. And Sinzak put a deal on there where if you go to it, if you book a hotel room at the hotel where the event's being held, you get free admission into Rockin' Pod. and that's just for that's just for people on that page. And I think that's an incredible offer. Already a lot of people have signed up for it. And any of our listeners who have been to other Rockin' Pods know that it's just so much fucking fun. And you guys get to hang out with us, party with us, interview rock stars with us. And I'm going to do a lot extra this year. And, you know, Ralph, you're more than welcome to join in on this. But I'm going to have raffles just for our listeners that show up. And I'm going to be giving away, and I'm not going to make you pay anything to get in this fucking raffle. It's just, you know, if you're part of our family, we know who's part of our family and who's not. But I'm going to have raffles to give away my Blue Oyster Cult collection on CD. I'm going to give away some Kiss memorabilia that I have that I don't want cluttering up my house anymore, like a Kiss trivia game that I have and some other Kiss shit.
God.
Oh my God. Stuff like that I'm going to give away just to our listeners. You know, you come up to the table, say hi, you know, fill out your fucking name. We put it in a hat. We draw shit. And we're going to give it away just to thank you guys for supporting us. And everybody knows, if it wasn't for Rock and Metal Combat Podcast listeners, I really don't think we'd be looking at a Rockin' Pod for as much money as we raised for the first three. And now it's gotten to a point where it's become such an event we don't have to raise money for it anymore. And I'm very proud that it's got to that point. It's gotten bigger and better every year. This year's no exception. But just as a thank you to our listeners, I want to give you guys shit, man. Anybody that's going to travel there, come win some shit, hang out with us, party with us. It's going to be amazing. We are going to do a small version of, you know, you can pay to get your episodes, but we're not trying to raise as much money as we normally did. So when we do announce it, it's going to be a first come, first serve. And we're still doing ones from 2 and 3. And Ralph and I want to mix and match. Like, we want to do something we want to talk about. Then we're going to do a fan episode. So keep that in mind. But we're going to do a limited amount this year. But, man, just show up and hang out with us and party.
And Ian, I got something to throw in on your little gift of raffles there, dude. I mean, this has been long out of print, and I think it's one of a kind. I don't think anybody's ever bought this except me. I have a huge poster of the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast with a picture of me and Ian on it, and the whole poster is pixelated as fuck that I got off thatmetalstation.com. I'm gonna throw that in there, and we'll sign it.
Oh yes, we will. Income, we will sign it.
Yeah,
but and that's another thing I want to throw out to the listeners of the show. So my Mrs. Wadzilla is very supportive of this show, and she's trying to help out in any way she can. And she really wants to work out some merch for the show. So I would like you guys on the Facebook page, you know, come on the official page, or you can do it on the Army page. Let us know what kind of shit you would really be interested in buying. You know, and I know people could come up with some funny shit, but I'm talking about like shit you would be willing to pay money for. Because that'll give us an idea so we can make some shit that you guys would like, that you would want, that you'd be interested in. Because, I mean, every other podcast does it but us. But we never wanted to rip you guys off like the way that Metal Station did. I've got a couple of those shirts and a clock.
And yeah. I got all that shit too.
It's the worst pics, and I know Scott Green did it with the best of intentions and a good heart. But
yeah, when I got the poster, I called him, told him about it. He said, "That's not supposed to happen."
It was not supposed to be that way. But no, we want to come out with some quality products that you guys would like. But let us know.
You know what I would love, Ian? A fucking Rock and Metal Combat Podcast board game where, you know, you lose if you land on the square that says you are now one of the podcasts that were influenced by Rock and Metal Combat Podcast. You lose.
The Rock and Metal Prague Central Incorporated.
Yeah, the Rock and Metal Prague experience, and with cribs.
Yeah. or anything involving Mark Alden Taylor. Which, say what you want about that poor bastard, but you know what? He puts on his pants one leg at a time and goes and burns fucking corn dogs all day. At least he has a fucking job.
Yeah,
You know?
and I fantasize. I fantasize how Mark works because you know when he's burning those corn dogs, I wish I could be doing it just like him. But when I'm burning the corn dog, I pretend it's a Sammy Hagar fan.
Exactly. And what I love about him, he's on his third wife. That's look at Mark Alden
He's
Taylor.
been
That guy
laid at
found
least. He's been laid at least 2 times.
he's found 3 women to fuck him. That's a hell of a lot more than Terrence and fucking Andrew combined.
Yeah.
But yeah, show up at Rockin' Pod. Make sure you're gonna stay there. Book your hotel at the same hotel where the event's being held because there is a discount. You do get a discount, and you get to hang out with Ralph and myself. We're gonna have giveaways. We're gonna get fucked up, have a great time. It'll definitely be something to remember. And again, talk to any of our listeners who went to the previous Rockin' Pods, and they'll tell you, man, it is so much fun. The people you can meet, the other, if you're hard up and you listen to other podcasts, you can meet them. Hang out with us, meet rock stars. There's all kinds of merch, all kinds of shit.
Meet rock stars and Ricky Rackman too.
and Ricky Rackman. You can watch Ralph and Ricky Rackman fight. You can see me. You can see me get shot probably at this event. One of these
yeah.
Because we're pretty big, but I don't know what security's like. I'm probably going to get shot at one of these, and it'll do great for ratings.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that won't happen at Rockin' Pod for sure. Zack Attack, the guy that blamed us for bots on the Podcast King, that Zack Attack dude. He said that the first Rockin' Pod, I ran away from him. That he's going to come up to me at Rockin' Pod 2. No, I'm sorry. It was Rockin' Pod 2 I ran away from him when I was Vinnie Vincent. Now, he said at Rockin' Pod 3 he was going to confront me. He never showed up. I didn't run from. I haven't heard a word from Zack Attack since, because the guy's all talk. I didn't run away from him, and I proved it. The next day, I was like, I was looking for the fuck. I was Sizzler and all those people. I was like, hey, do you guys know a Zack Attack? I want to go up to this fuck. Fucking idiot. Oh, fuck him.
Yeah. And Andrew and Terrence won't be there because they don't take food stamps for admittance. So
it's fun. It's funny you say that because I said that to him on Facebook. I go, hey, great news! You can go to Rockin' Pod because they take food stamps this year, and and he wrote back, oh yeah, for your listeners. Wow, he's hilarious.
Yeah, our listeners have year after year, put their money where their heart is, have supported this event, and made it through some very lean years to make it the success it is now. And here we are, the 4th year, bigger than ever. Come and hang out. It's going to be fucking amazing.
Hell yeah. All right. It's time for the news.
All right. That James Durbin, who sang in Quiet Riot for 2 minutes.
Nice bandana.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's no longer inspired in Quiet Riot. We were making throwaway records, and wow, he's honest. He's honest.
Well, yeah, you know what? That makes sense because when the second record came out, he left before it came out. He recorded and then left.
Yeah, that's bad when he quits Quiet Riot.
Yeah. It's sad, Quiet Riot, it's not the great, it's not in my, top 50 or all, but they're very important to my youth. And it's sad what they became. But, it's even sadder that Kevin and Frankie are gone. It's like, damn, man. You can never say Quiet Riot had an original lineup unless you're talking about Drew and Randy Rhoads. Okay? Because Rudy Sarzo then came in. So, but, the essential lineup is Rudy, Kevin, Carlos, and Frankie, and that'll never be again. So it's kind of like, and for them to do it, look, I understand it's blasphemous, this and that, but fuck, man, how else are they going to make money? You know, how's Chuck Wright ever gonna fucking pay his bills? You know, they got to go out there and milk it. Fuck it. That's their only. It's too late for these people to get like a corporate job or fucking working at McDonald's. They go, okay, what am I gonna do? Work at McDonald's or milk this shit and make 5 times as much? They're gonna milk it. I don't think it's right, but it's just I'm just hey Ian, I tell it like it is. I'm like a minstrel.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What's Chuck Wright gonna put on his fucking resume? I play bass that's less audible than Nikki Sixx.
Yeah, I did you see the Quiet Riot documentary?
Yeah.
The guy that went up to him with the Metal Health CD and he wouldn't let Chuck sign it. And Chuck is like, I did play on it. That was sad as fuck, man. It was like, goddamn.
Yeah, he did. He played on 2 tracks, I believe.
Yeah, Don't Want to Let You Go and Bang Your Head.
Yeah.
And he played one song on Condition Critical, Born to Rock, the last track.
Ugh.
There you go.
Good luck. But you know what? At least they're working. They're not sitting at home.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck it, dude. Here's the deal. If Quiet Riot was going to come down here with this lineup right now, they throw out like the casino will throw them, I don't know, $10,000 to play it, and then charge nobody to go in because they think people will be playing the slots. I'll go. Right. Now, if I got to pay like $1.50 or something, I'm gonna decline that. But I'm just saying, for free, fuck yeah, let's go see fucking Chuck Wright play Bang Your Head. He played it on the fucking vinyl with a bunch of other guys. For free.
Oh. All right, well, Dave Ellison says, Megadeth is the greatest thrash band in the history of the world.
Well, look, that's a personal opinion. But, technically, if you were to ask me, Megadeth was the greatest speed metal band ever. I'm talking about those early records, man. That's state of the art speed metal. It wasn't really that thrashy. I mean, what Peace Sells is probably the only song that has the you know what I'm saying?
Right. And if you read this is a quote on Blabbermouth. The quote is very misleading. It's very much clickbait. What it is the interview is referring to this new thing he's got going with Jeff Scott Soto.
Oh, cool.
And he was talking about fans asking him, is it going to be thrash? Is it going to be heavy and all this shit? And he simply said, well, if I'm going to do thrash, I'm going to do it in Megadeth because I'm in the greatest thrash band in the history of the world. So my side projects, I might as well do something different, which I agree with. Not that he's in the greatest thrash metal band in the world. I do believe that Dave Mustaine is one of the greatest guitar players in thrash.
And it was very much responsible for a lot of what thrash became.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'll check it out. I do like Jeff Scott Soto.
Yeah.
I believe they have a video out now where they're doing a cover of Swords and Tequila. But oddly enough, I believe on that track there's somebody else singing that's not Jeff Scott Soto. So it doesn't make it's weird. Like they're doing an album together, but they got one track where somebody else sings, and they released that as the single.
Is he in the video though?
I don't know. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I gotta watch this. I love that song. Riot rules.
But Dave Ellison, hey, that's somebody we met at Rockin' Pod that a lot of our listeners got to meet too when we interviewed him.
Yeah, we had our listeners join us in the interview.
Yeah, real nice guy. And he put out on Instagram, he took a picture of, hey, I'm talking to Rock and Metal Combat Podcast. So super nice guy. I do like his bass playing. Are they the greatest? No. Are they one of the most important? You bet your ass.
Yeah, they're one of the top 4, the big 4. The big 4.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's something that probably 60 people are going to pay for, maybe. And most of them are in one of the Dakotas. Stephen Pearcy is going to do a live stream Friday, April 2nd, and Bobby Blotzer is going to join him. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess you do what you got to do to sell it. But Stephen Pearcy has come out and said now that even though he was touring with a new version of Rat, he will not make new music under the Rat moniker if it's not the original lineup.
Yeah, yeah, he's right.
Do you think this could lead to one last hurrah with, the classic four and Carlos coming back?
Carlos said he said many times he'd go back to Rat if Warren went back.
Right.
Warren is the biggest holdout because Warren is loaded. He was born
Right.
into a family that had to do with the Mars Candy Company. So the guy, and he even said, like in interviews, with all the lawsuits and all the bullshit, he's like, "What? Why am I dealing with this shit? I'm a rich boy."
Yeah.
This other thing, this other project I did hasn't made the same money as Mars Bars really ever. But yeah, we were doing good in the '80s. But now we're not doing not even a quarter of what Mars Bars does. And I
Right.
got to deal with lawsuits and Bloxer. Fuck this shit. I'm out of here.
Yeah. And I respect his honesty too. It's not like he tries to hide it or come up with another bullshit excuse. Would I love another Rat album that's on the level as Infestation? Hell yeah. And I would also love, even Infestation didn't have Juan Crucier, who, even though is excruciating to watch live,
Yeah.
if you look at a lot of the classic Rat tracks, very good as a co-writer and background vocalist, I think would, add to it. I think they could do it again. Will they? I don't know, but I would definitely check it out. But as far as
they will, Ian, if they throw a lot of fucking money, Warner go, hey, all right, yeah, I won't have to mooch off my family for a little bit. I'll take it. That'll make them do it. It's all money, man.
Right. If they could have been part of the stadium tour, that'll probably never happen. They would probably do it.
And that would have been the perfect band.
Oh yeah.
Nothing against Joan Jett, but all three of those bands are like 80s same type of music, you know what I mean?
Yeah, actually Joan Jett's too good to be on that tour.
Yeah.
We talked about that before, She does have credibility and respectability and is an awesome, musician.
And plus, open for Poison, that's pretty fucked up. That's why one of the very rare times I didn't see Cheap Trick was because they opened for Poison. I go, okay, all right, this I can't see. I can't see one of my favorite bands of all time open for Poison, so I skipped that show.
Yeah, that's sad.
Sad. It's fucking heartbreaking.
All right, well, speaking of heartbreaking, former Iron Maiden guitarist Dennis Stratton says it's heartbreaking for Blaze Bayley to be excluded from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's nomination for Iron Maiden. Which is kind of funny because, they put Maiden on the fan vote, which they're not going to get.
Yeah.
So it's irrelevant anyway, but I thought it was pretty cool of Dennis to say that, even though I am not a Blaze Bayley fan, especially of that era of Iron Maiden. But I thought it was cool because he was somebody who was included, even though he's only on the first album, but then again is a landmark Maiden album. I thought it was pretty cool that he stood up for him, and I never understood that about the Hall of Fame. Well, I mean, I do understand. I get what it is, but it sucks. Certain bands, everybody who's ever been in there gets in, and other bands, it's only the people who sell. There was another story, on Blabbermouth a couple of weeks ago about Vinny Appice bitching about how him and Ronnie should have been inducted with Black Sabbath, and I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. But what's so funny is you have a band, and I've said this before. When Parliament and Funkadelic got in, that's a band that had like 28 recording members, but they don't dare say one of them can't get in.
But and separately, Bruce Springsteen got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Then a future one, the E Street Band got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right. So they pick and choose bands that they like. Everybody gets in. Bands they don't. Well, even though, like I think they inducted Chili Peppers, but they didn't induct what's his name from Jane's Addiction. but he was on a big selling album. But they pick and choose who they want to get in there. But first of all, that shit's a joke. But I thought it was really nice though that Dennis Stratton stood up and said, "Hey, he was in the band. He contributed. No matter what, he should be in there." And again, just shows the hypocrisy of that whole thing. And again, it's all, you know, wishful thinking because Iron Maiden's not going to get in there. You know, definitely not this year. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I loved. He played on my favorite Maiden album, and I got to see him live once. Did you know this, Ian?
Did you see him with Paul Di'Anno?
No, I saw him with Al Atkins, the guy that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was at the Sunfest 2002, I think, and it was like kind of like an all-star thing. It was
Yeah.
Al Atkins, and then there were a couple other ones that I know. I mean, some guy that was probably in Angel. I don't know. They announced him on stage, and I was kind of drunk, but yeah, it was a really terrible set. But hey, I got to see him live.
Yeah. Well, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, George Lynch and Don Dokken, I guess, are in agreement that a proper, in quotations, Dokken reunion should happen. Which I find funny because they've already admitted that Wild Mick Brown wouldn't be part of it anyway. But his brother would. Wild Mick Brown has retired from drumming. I believe he has some, he just finds it too demanding physically. I mean, fuck, Dokken's pushing fucking 70. I think George Lynch is 66. And there's this band called the End Machine, which is Dokken plus Robert Mason. They just put out their second album, and on drums, Wild Mick Brown was replaced by his brother.
Wow.
So
I didn't know Mick Brown had a brother drummer.
I had no idea either till the new End Machine record came out. But I heard him drum, but I mean, very serviceable. But I mean, in the same way Wild Mick Brown is. I mean, Wild Mick Brown was, more of a character than he was known for his drumming. Very serviceable, can do the job, but, is not Bill Ward, is not Neil Peart. But I think it's funny they're calling for a proper one, but to me, he's a very important member. Would I like to see this? Yes, because I'm still to this day, I've never seen George Lynch live. So I would like to see it. But I think calling a proper reunion without, the four from the classic era.
Well, there's two people from the classic era that's not there. Mick Brown and Don's voice.
Yeah. Yeah, but his wig will be there, so.
But seriously, I mean, there's certain people like Paul Stanley and all these other people that, yeah, their voice is shot, but not to the extent of Don Dokken goes up to the mic and talks. Have you seen any reason? I mean, the guy doesn't even put effort. And I saw Dokken about 6 years ago when he just beat cancer, and it was no different than it is now. He's been like this for fucking years. But, it's Don and George on stage, like Axl and Slash, It ain't going to work for either one of them. They'll get more money from promoters by joining forces. You know what I'm saying? Whether you can sing or not.
Right. Well, I saw him maybe about 6 or 7 years ago. And I thought it was good, but then again, I was fucking wasted. So it could have been. I was just happy to hear those songs. So,
but have you seen at least YouTube footage of him lately?
Oh yeah, no, I've seen some recent stuff where it was, but I've seen all kinds of different stuff on the internet. I've seen the latest era. Some he sounds okay. I mean, he never sounds great, but some he sounds okay. Like, hey, I would pay to hear that. And then others, it's like, oh no.
Well, you may be right. I just haven't seen those clips yet. Every time somebody puts up hey, look, I filmed Dokken yesterday, I look at it, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. But yeah, I would check it out if it came around. But it'd it'd be great if they could get Mick Brown there too. But if not, fuck it. I'll get drunk with his brother. I don't care.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll come down here with Quiet Riot for free at the casino. I'll go to that.
But I tell you, one song that, wow, this really, I listened to it. I had very low expectations, but I really dug it. ZZ Top's Billy Gibbons is putting out a new solo album, and he released a single called West Coast Junkie. Did you watch that?
No, I have not. I will.
I dug it. I thought it was really good. I was like, God damn, sounds good. Of course it's going to sound like ZZ Top. But what disturbed me is the never-ending kick in the face to Frank Beard, the drummer, the great drummer of ZZ Top, because not only did Billy Gibbons replace him, with computer drums in the 80s. Now on his solo albums, he's replacing them with Matt Sorum.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, oh man,
come on. He's worse than than the person that replaced Frank Beard on Eliminator, Johnny Five. Or, was that his name? That fucker in that fucking movie, Johnny Five?
Yeah.
What was the name of that movie? Trans Circuit?
Short Circuit.
Short Circuit. My mind is fucked.
Is that live? Yeah, I'm like, God damn, you go from Frank Beard to a computer.
Johnny Five.
To Johnny Five to Matt Sorum. But I ain't gonna lie, dude. It's a good song, and if you like old ZZ Top, I think you'll dig it. It gave me high hopes for the new album.
You know why it's a good song, Ian?
Because
on drums it's really Alan Schwartzberg.
Yeah, my favorite member of Kiss.
That's the guy really good. Sorum's pulling up Peter Criss.
So I would say check it out. I think you would dig it.
Right.
Well, Wolfgang Van Halen has released 2 more tracks from his upcoming debut album, Mammoth WVH. Wow, one of the worst fucking names ever. Couldn't you just call it Mammoth? Does it got to be Mammoth WVH? And I heard the song he did, about his dad, Distance and stuff, and I appreciated what he was doing with it. I feel bad. The guy lost his dad. Such an icon. But the song did nothing for me, But I appreciate why he wrote it. I appreciate the sentiment of it, but not the song itself. And hearing, I didn't even hear the Think It Over. I heard Don't Back Down, and wow, just middle of the road. I hate saying anything bad about this kid because I feel so bad for him. He got Van Halen back together with David Lee Roth. He takes so much shit about his weight. There's all this negative shit that this poor kid gets, and he just lost his dad. But I gotta say, the music just doesn't do it for me. I don't hear his dad at all. I don't hear anything innovative. It's very pedestrian, and I know he's hung out. He's good friends with the guy from Creed and Alter Bridge. And that's kind of what it reminds me of, that middle of the road, shit that a soccer mom could listen to on the radio and not be threatened. Did you hear either of these new songs, Ralph?
Yeah, I want to set this up, though. I did see Distance, and yeah, I even said it on my YouTube. I said, look, man, I don't like this song, but I love the fact that people are loving it. Because, right. I feel bad for Wolfgang. Then he released the other song that was really bad, but the solo was really good. I was like, well, at least the solo's good, but yeah. So these 2 that they put up yesterday, the one you haven't heard, terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah. I was like, ugh. Then one you didn't like blew my mind, dude. I loved it. I was like, wow, I really loved it. I'm saying first listen. I never heard Alter Bridge, but maybe I should start listening to that shit. I don't know, but I'm telling you, those other 3 songs I heard were fucking bad. And I'm not expecting, him to sound like Van Halen, but it was, Yeah, very modern type of crap. I don't like the radio shit. Those 3 songs, and the one you didn't hear, don't listen. That's the worst out of all of them. That was
Yeah.
so bad. So it's like, but yeah, but am I gonna run out and buy the album because of this one song? No, I was just saying, yeah, dude. Now this is more like it. This is what I like. But that's what I think. Wolfie rules, by the way. I like him big and chubby, sexy
Yeah.
motherfucker. I
No,
don't want him to lose weight. He looks great.
Yeah. I like him. I think he's a good kid. I mean, his music isn't my bag, and that's fine. If there's other people that like it, I'm not going to hate on the kid because if it wasn't for him, I never would have saw Van Halen. So
Yeah, and and I said just like you said on YouTube on a video, I said, I feel good for the kid, and yeah, I got a few people going, he's 30. I'm going, yeah, but Terrence and fucking Terrence are like 50, and they mooch off the government. This kid's out there doing something, and his parents are loaded.
exactly, he could just sit at home.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, he's a mover and shaker, and he's still huge. That's a badass.
Exactly.
Fuck
And
yeah.
but and he banged Andrew Jacobs' wife too
Yeah.
in the trach.
I gotta tell, I only got 2 words for fucking Wolfgang Van Halen. Manja manja.
Well, here's another guy that, man, he has been all over Blabbermouth, and this is a rare story where he's not talking shit about Tommy Squeechy or Squelch.
Bobby
Or,
Doll.
yeah. The lead guitar player from Tesla, who's no longer with the band, who will be at Rockin' Pod, and his new band,
Wow.
yeah, and his new band will be playing. I heard the song; it was pretty fucking good. But Brian
Dude,
Wheat,
Ian, we gotta fucking interview this dude because he's gonna be bringing some fucking awesome blow. That guy
yeah.
is a big ass drug addict. We need to hang with him.
Oh, yeah. Supposedly he's clean now, but we'll fuck that all
Oh
up.
fuck, man. What a poser.
But
Quitter.
we interviewed Troy Laketta from Tesla at Rockin' Pod 2, and I'll never forget when we got our picture taken. He made me remove my various beer cans before we took a picture because he's clean and sober, doesn't want to
Oh,
promote alcohol, and
oh, I didn't notice that. I was there.
yeah, you don't remember that? Yeah, he made me move all the beer cans before we took the photo together.
Wow. Yeah, I missed that one. That's wild. That's some wild stuff.
Wild and wacky stuff. Um, but yeah, so Brian Wheat, and man, have you seen these pictures of him? God damn, does this guy look bad? He looks like Mark Alden Taylor on fucking meth. I mean, he looks fucking horrible. But he's written a new book, and basically, man, every interview has been, fuck Tommy, fuck Tommy, fuck Tommy. But this one is he says why he dislikes the term hair metal. And out of a lot of the bands that I could see have this argument, I would say yes, Tesla is one of those who unfairly suffered. I think they're just a good rock and roll band, along with Cinderella. But even Cinderella, they dress the part on Night Songs. So I can see them getting lumped in a little bit,
Image-wise, of course, yeah, big time.
yeah,
Tesla with Love Song. I don't think if they would have released Love Song, they'd be known as a hair metal band because they were, very gritty, fucking rock and roll, man. It's just, and then that, and Love Song coming out at the worst time when power ballads was the thing. That's why they get lumped in because that was probably on the charts with, something to believe in and more than words. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
Mr. Big, whatever their hit was, I'll be with you or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's why and look at, Mr. Big. I mean, come on, Billy Sheehan and a hair metal band. Ain't that bizarre? But it's the truth. That's the 80s for you.
yeah. He left David Lee Roth because he didn't like the direction of Skyscraper, and then he joins Mr. Big.
Yeah, which man, I was so fucking looking forward to that album. I'm a huge Racer X fan, and I'm like Paul Gilbert and Billy Sheehan, and then I saw the video for Addicted to That Rush. Now, musically, that song is what I expected.
Yeah, I like that song. That is the one Mr. Big song I like.
But boy, that Eric Adam, he ain't exactly a showboat on he looks like some pipsqueak. No offense, great voice on the guy, but image wise was all about the '80s. You know what I'm saying? So if they would have
Right.
got some fucking Bullet Boys looking motherfucker up there, fronting that band, it would have done much better. For that little time span where hair metal ruled.
Right. Well, and Billy Sheehan is going to be at Rockin' Pod 4, and I can't wait to interview his ass. That's going to be, oh my God, I can't wait to hear about some coke fueled David Lee Roth stories. And
Yeah,
I said something to Senzak. I was like, oh man, I'm getting on stage with Billy Sheehan, and we're going to do I'm Easy off of Eat 'em and Smile. He goes, yeah, no, but I'm going to work on it.
yeah.
I'm going to work on him.
I want to go. I'll talk to Chris, see if I can go up there and do the Spanish version.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go. Oh, nice.
yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, speaking, this is kind of related uh, because this is somebody who played with David Lee Roth, Jason Becker.
Love it.
Uh, this seems really nice. The title of the story is World's Greatest Guitar Players Come Together to Raise Money for Jason Becker. And if you look at the list, there is like 40 different guitar players who are involved with this. I mean, I'm not going to read them all, of course, but Marty Freeman, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Steve Lukather, Mark Tremonti, John Petrucci, Nina Strauss, David Townsend, Dave Ellefson, Alex Skolnick. I mean, John Five, all kinds of amazing guitar players.
Wait. All those amazing guitar players. What a cold motherfucker that CC DeVille is. He's not on the list.
Yeah, yeah. Ron Bumblefoot Thal is there, but not CC DeVille.
Who can play a solo like CC being thrown down a flight of stairs? Come on, the guy's a god.
But I think it's great. I mean, what a sad story, it is for him being cut down in his prime with his disease. But I gotta say, and I think this is what separates us from the sheep, because everybody knows my Lord and Savior is David Lee Roth, but you never hear of Dave doing shit for Jason Becker, and that bothers me. I wish Dave did something.
I don't want to say this because it'll sound like now I'm kind of a fucking nut swinger of Dave by saying this, but no, this is actually a fact. And you know the story about Michael Anthony's grandkid.
Yes.
David gave thousands of dollars, but didn't announce it. It was Michael who announced it. It wasn't
True.
Dave. And Dave didn't tell him, hey, Michael, tell him I sent you this. Michael was the one that came out and said himself. Dave probably does and doesn't want it. There's a lot of celebrities out there that donate and don't want the attention. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. I guess I just kind of focused like you never heard anything since Becker got sick about Dave doing something, and I've always kind of felt that, and maybe I'm wrong for this. I always felt Dave was kind of responsible for what happened to Jason Becker.
How so?
Well, because by the time he joined Dave's band, it was obvious that in sales, Van Hagar was doing better than Dave solo. And he gave Jason Becker a copy of OU812 and said, hey, we got to beat this. And that's when Jason got sick.
Yeah, I take back what I said. I don't think Dave would donate to somebody made to listen to OU812. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's like fucking Terrence Reardon type shit.
Yeah, Jason Becker, had to listen to Cabo Wabo, and then all hell broke loose. So it's kind of his fault.
That's why I am fine. I never heard that song. See that? Walk just fine.
But no, very sad story, and I think it's amazing of all the artists that have helped him, because if you've seen the documentary on him, what a amazing story. I mean, this guy writes music still by moving his eyes at a fucking chart. But Terrence and fucking Andrew Jacobs can't get a fucking job. But fucking Jason Becker can still write music with his fucking eyes.
And you know, it's wild, and it's been 20. I mean, they gave that guy just a couple years of life when he first was diagnosed. It's like 20 something years later, the guy's still writing music, doing all his shit while confined to a chair. Come on. The guy's fucking awesome. He's fucking Lemmy stature fucking badass.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Love Jason Becker. Even, I make my jokes and everything. I think he's an inspiration. And it's great to see so many people, these many years after he's been out of the spotlight, still step up, and do what they can to help this poor guy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, that's awesome.
Somebody else who has a bit of history of what we're going to talk about today. Sammy Hagar says he hasn't been prolific during the pandemic. But I digress. He's made up all kinds of shit. Like Van Halen's bigger with him.
yeah, he's been doing that during this. He's been doing a lot of that lately.
And that he was just as big as Van Halen when he joined. So I think he's been very creative with what he's come up with.
Oh, and since we haven't talked, I haven't told you, I been sucking a lot of cock, and I'm on Twitter now. And two times I wrote Eddie Trunk. And when you write Eddie Trunk on Twitter, it goes on his wall. And I'm not trolling the guy. I'm just saying, hey, Eddie. And I would put the article. I go, hey, Eddie, talk to your friend Sammy about this. I mean, he's going around saying they sold more with him. He didn't reply. But several people replied. And every one of them was like, yeah, Eddie, what the fuck, And then I did it again just this week, because I did the last one about 5 months ago. I did it again because it was another article. So I wrote him and said, hey, Eddie, ask Sammy about this, Both times the guy didn't reply. But boy, a whole lot of people replied. Now, Eddie Trunk, I don't know if you're aware of this, one of our Rock and Metal Combat Podcast listeners is known as Thinkin' Stanley. And he's driven Paul Stanley so crazy that Paul even made a fucking comment about it. Like, hey, I know who you are. Yeah, he said, I know who you are. I know your phone number, your wife. All that. He's threatening to dox him, right? That news got back to Eddie Trunk. And Eddie Trunk brought up Thinkin' Stanley and everything. Yeah. And then then Eddie Trunk says, Paul Stanley called out this guy Thinkin' Stanley. He just made his life. Now, me writing Eddie Trunk something non-trollish, he's still not going to reply, because that fucker doesn't reply to nobody, So, and he probably does see what I say trollish, because he's got to confront Sammy, or at least confront me and tell me if I'm wrong, because I got the proof that Van Halen sold more than Van Hagar.
Well, all I got to say about Eddie Trunk is, and I've said it before on the show. I used to love listening to his live show, and there's shit about him that annoys me, and there's shit that I like, but I personally had a conversation with a rock star I won't name who just summed it up great. He says he's not one of us. He's a businessman. He does this. He's like, you and me live and breathe this shit. We feel it. And it's a business to him, and it's just a different attitude. And and when I met him, I was really disappointed.
Really, because he was really nice when I met him.
He wasn't. It wasn't that he wasn't nice. It's just like he just didn't get me. And hey, that happened before. Ron Keel, who I think is a real fun guy. Like, I've met him at various rockin' pods. He's going to be there again. Nice guy, super guy, drinks at parties. Didn't get my sense of humor. Neither did Eddie Trunk. And you could just tell it was a job.
Yeah, I didn't go up to Eddie talking about, hey, Eddie, I like my ass licked. And then he probably would have been kind of like, he wouldn't have got it. But he never had his ass licked.
Some people live it and breathe it, and some people it's just, punching a clock, which is something Terrence Andrew would know nothing about.
Exactly. And in defense of Eddie Trunk, at least, even though he's stuck in the back, the in the past, at least he acknowledges the bands that didn't really make it back then, and talks about like bands like Malice. I've heard him talk about Coney Hatch and bands that didn't even go gold. So at least I mean, he may be living in the past, but he's not like that douchebag that left that comment saying I don't listen to their music anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, at least that he's better than that guy that left the comment.
Yeah, I mean, for Christ's sake, he's still pushing UFO, and nobody cares about that shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I love UFO, but really, why should anybody else care?
All right, next story. Paul Stanley, on the possibility of new Kiss music, says, I don't really see a reason for it. And I guess I would have to agree with him, judging by what they've put out, I would say, since Revenge. Yeah, I don't see it. And normally, I'm all for older artists putting out new music, at least giving it a try. But I just think Kiss just doesn't have it. Their heart's not in it. It's purely by the numbers. Uh, it's all about record sales. Gene has even said, "Oh, you put out an album, people are just going to download it, and we're going to spend a lot of money." Kiss is not a band that's going to put out music because they have to get this awesome music out of their system. That they're this creative entity. It's just about business. So I'm all for it. Like if they want to keep limping into this farewell tour again that they say they're going to do now that the pandemic's hopefully on the downside. Yeah, I say don't put out any new music for once. What do you think?
Well, I think just like you, but for other reasons. I love Monster, that album Monster. Now, Monster, everybody thinks just like you. It's shit. It's a shitty album. And that gets back to them. It didn't sell. A lot of the fans disliked it. So if they ever do a new album, it'll probably be like some shit so drastically different than Monster that I'm fine with them ending their career with Monster. So I'm with you. I don't want no more new music because I know it's gonna just it'll ruin their legacy. Oh, I made it funny.
Oh God! All right, and our last story. You're talking about probably if they did do something now, it would be a retaliation. It would be them trying to do something different. Um, which I do understand. I see your point, and I can see that happening with the next guy we're talking about, John Schaefer from Iced Earth. His asshole is going to put out a blues album.
No, for
Because
real?
because he is still in jail, and this is something highly debated in the music community. I see a lot of people torn on this. With the arrested John Schaefer, who was arrested for he was part of the people who stormed into the Capitol building, and I gotta say, I might not agree with this guy's politics and all this shit, but I would never turn my back on the Iced Earth records that I enjoy. Has no effect on that shit. But I think he probably did kill the fucking band. But I'm still an Iced Earth fan, and I can totally separate all this shit. I think it's crazy what he did, and I think he's paying the appropriate price for it. But it's not going to make me not listen to Iced Earth by any stretch of the imagination. What do you think?
Well, I don't think it's going to hurt the legacy of Iced Earth in any way. I mean, look at Gary Glitter. All right,
Yeah.
hey, that's a bad excuse. Yeah, he's
Hey,
fucked.
I still love Gary Glitter.
Yeah, oh yeah, I gotta tell you something funny. I did a podcast the other day, and we were talking about the Who, and the song Uncle. What is it again on Tommy Uncle? The Perverted Uncle.
Uncle Ernie.
Okay, Uncle Ernie. I don't think it was Uncle or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, this guy told me that in Broadway or it was Vegas, they did the whole show, the whole Tommy show, and the person that played Uncle Ernie was Gary Glitter. This is a true story. Is that crazy?
Oh man.
I bet he nailed the fuck out of that role.
Yeah, he did. He's got dedication. He's got dedication like John Schaefer.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Woo! Wowzers.
All right.
He's in Cuba now. You know that? Do you know that?
Who's in Cuba?
Gary Glitter. That's because the fight. He never went to jail for diddling kids. He left the country, but he picked Cuba out of every country. What a dope!
You guys got good sandwiches. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but you can't eat them. It only goes to the leaders.
Yeah,
the leaders have Raul Castro has some awesome sandwiches.
Yeah, that's one thing I miss about Florida. The damn Cuban sandwiches. I love that shit.
Yeah. That over here we're okay. But at least the helpers of Raul Castro gets crumbs now and then. When he ain't watching.
All right. Well, that was the news. And man, it felt good to do that again. A nice lengthy intro into talking about, in my opinion, one of the greatest albums of all time. And Ralph, you picked this one. Why don't you take it?
Yeah, 1981. I love Fair Warning. It was Van Halen's Fair Warning album. My backstory on it's kind of funny was the first time, because I was a first day buyer. I don't know how the fuck. I guess magazines said it was coming out of the day. I don't know how I knew that day was coming out. But anyway, I went to the record store and I looked all around. I'm like, where the fuck is the new Van Halen? So I ended up going up to the cash register guy and I said, yeah, I'm looking for the new Van Halen. So he points at this little stand that has different albums on it. And I walk up to it and I still couldn't find it. And then I turn around and he's like, dude, it's that one, the brown one. And I was like, oh, this? Yeah. And I look at it and go, the fuck? I was not expecting that to be the Van Halen record. Then I went home. I put it on my stereo. After the first listen, I said, this album sucks. The only good song is Hear About It Later. True story. Now, yeah, of course, I think differently because I think this album is all killer, no filler. But yeah, it was one of those first-time listeners. I didn't get it. That's why I always encourage everybody. If you hate an album the first time you hear it, give it another chance later. Because believe me, by the time I saw the Fair Warning tour, I was into that album heavy. But I'm just talking, my first day listening to Fair Warning, I fucking hated it. I was like, what? And one thing that really stood up in my mind, which we'll get into the song, but I'll just give it away now. The beginning of Dirty Movies. The way Eddie comes in, it sounds like Terrence playing guitar. I was like, what the fuck's going on? That's not Eddie. How they gonna keep that in there? But now listening to it, it's so demented and dirty. It's awesome, but I just didn't get it because Eddie is perfection. And you can tell purposely in the beginning of Dirty Movies, he's playing like CeCe DeVille, man. I mean, he's terrible. You know it too. It's like, I don't think that is, I think that's Dave, that did that, or probably they brought Hagar in to do that intro. But anyway, I hate to spoil the actual reviews, but yeah. So, and then I said the story again, but it's so good to say it always. The Van Halen 1980 tour, I was second row. Fair Warning, I was in the fucking nosebleeds. And I have never witnessed a concert that was so like people banging on their chairs between songs. I've never experienced an audience that insane in my life. And the way that show started, where all you see is spotlights and Eddie and Alex warming up, and you see, and then the guy comes out, will you welcome the mighty Van Halen? And they go into On Fire. And right before they get into that part, I mean, right after that part, when the band kicks in, all the lights turn on in the arena. And the first thing you see when those lights come up is David Lee Roth, like 30 feet in the air doing a split. It was, I still can't give it justice. The charge it gave everybody in that arena, like, whoa. And because of that moment, I really believe the whole fucking crowd banged on their chairs the whole fucking way, David Lee Roth once said it best. He said, our audiences come to our show, and when they leave, they want to get hit by a car. because they are not going to have that same charge again unless you get hit by a car. And I'm telling you, man, I wish, and I have proof. Every motherfucker you meet online that saw the Fair Warning tour say the same damn thing. Every fucking location they went, they drove the fucking audience insane, and I've never experienced that since Van Halen, but because it happened again during Diver Down, it happened again during '84, but I don't know, man. Maybe you need to see classic Van Halen in the nosebleeds. Is probably what happened. You know, seeing it up close, you're not seeing what's going on behind you. But it was fucking magic, man. Best band in the world, best live band ever, ever. There will never be a band that I experienced. Now, Led Zeppelin, okay, I wasn't there. AC/DC with Bon. All right, I'm just saying, in my concert experience, that was the best fucking band I ever saw in my life. Hands down.
Well, you know, spoiler alert with me, I love this fucking album. And
First listen, huh?
Yeah, first
What year?
listen, but it was different. My first listen to this was probably, I want to say 86.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you heard Fair Warning for the first time after the 1984 album, which I love, but it really pounds that '84 album badly. You know, the fire of that album. So I can understand the year, but hearing it in '81, but then again, hearing it in '81, it was just me. All my friends are like, "You're fucking stoned. That's an awesome album." I was like, "What?" You know.
But I remember looking at it because my buddy Mike Zeller, he was into Van Halen much stronger and harder than I was. I mean, my dad played the early shit, and I dug it, but I didn't really like get into them until '84. That's when they became my band. But you know, at '84, I was fucking 10. You know, I only had so many cassettes and stuff. And I remember my buddy Mike Zeller, he was coming to stay for the weekend. And he brought all his cassette tapes. And at that point, the only ones that I hadn't heard yet were Diver Down and Fair Warning. And I remember, you know, pulling them out of the case, and I'm looking at them, and I thought both of them had very underwhelming album covers. I was like, what the fuck? These don't look good, you know, because it was the 80s. Everything was like big and sparkly and bright, or there was something neat about it. And I still think to this day, for a band that is amazing as Van Halen, they have some of the worst album covers ever. I mean, you know, the first one's iconic. The second
I liked
one,
'84. I thought '84 was kind of cute.
Well, yeah, 84 is classic and iconic. But like this one, I mean, I love it because I love the album, but to me, it doesn't. It kind of describes the album because the album is a little bit darker. But I don't know, like, you know, and like look at Different Kind of Truth. Horrible album cover. And don't get me started on the live album with Dave.
Different Kind of Truth was a Commodore's album, I think.
Yeah, it was a Commodore's album.
But I'll tell you this freaked me out. I bought the Rush Hemispheres box set, and it has the original tour program. They had a band, an unknown band, that had the fucking live album, The Ship, as their album cover. I was like, what the fuck? They ripped this one off too?
Yeah, you know, it's like you have so much creativity in this band, especially with David Lee Roth. And I'm surprised. I mean, I don't know. I love it now, but like I would have been the same as you if I walked into a record store. That's not what I would have looked for Van Halen. You know, yep. I would expect like, you know, this chick with, you know, a scantily clad bikini or some shit. You know, or something real bright. You know, it's a very dark album cover, but on first listen, I was like, wow.
It is a dark album, though. Compared to Van Halen music, that is the darkest Van Halen album. Yeah. And it is dark. We'll talk about each song. Each song has darkness to it, except for one.
But no, I got it right away. But again, you know, different time frames. You know, by the time I heard this, it was already Van Hagar. You know, But I still knew that this was the better shit. You know.
Yeah, you listen to Van Hagar, then listen to Fair Warning. Of course, you're going to get it on the first listen.
Oh my God, yeah, and people who can listen to this and listen to the Van Hagar album, it's like, if you're gonna commit a crime with somebody, uh, and they listen to Van Halen, that's the guy that's gonna rat on you. That's
Yeah,
the guy.
that's the
If you
narc.
get if you get busted, he's gonna be the narc. If you got that one friend, you're like, would he be gay for pay? If he likes Van Hagar, like, yeah, that's the gay. Because how could you accept that shit when you know this? How could you settle for anything else when you have this kind of rock and roll? And
Look,
oh my God.
I don't, I know you're the, fuck Van Halen, kill them. I'm not feel that way. But at the same time, Ian, if you really, really think about it, when Van Hagar fans fight you over facts that they have wrong, it really shows you the brilliance of Van Hagar fans.
Oh yeah. And then the greatest thing about like fighting a Van Hagar fan is you're only gonna get slapped.
Yeah, with a
They
purse.
might pull your hair. They're not gonna punch you.
They're gonna hit you over the head with their fucking purse.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because how could you listen, to this amazing rock and roll and settle for fucking Sammy Hagar? I
Pound
mean,
cake.
oh my God, dreams, oh my God,
Oh
can't
man.
stop loving you. Oh my God.
It's like fucking Skitty. What was the name of that band again? You're very good with pop culture. Scritti Politti was better. What
Yeah,
was the name of that band?
Scritti.
Was that the name? Scritti Politti?
Yeah, Scritti Politti.
I don't even remember their music, but just by that name, they suck. But it's still better than Dreams.
Oh God, there was more hardcore people at a Bananarama concert than a fucking Van Hagar concert.
On fire, baby desire.
But man, and this when I started rebuying the catalog on vinyl, this was the first one that I bought. I had to hear this shit on 180. It's just so awesome and so dark, and it was recorded in a very turbulent time in their career because I think this is when Dave and Eddie were really, starting to come to loggerheads about what direction the band was going to take. And, this is when supposedly Eddie was like, oh, I'll quit and join Kiss, because he was so mad at being in the best fucking band in the world, that he had to leave. And it's just like, God, this shit is perfection. It is fucking perfection. I listened to this album. I mean, it's in my DNA. I didn't write notes for this fucking episode. Didn't have to, but I still listened to it like twice earlier in the week. I listened to it twice today before we recorded. I'm just like, God damn, where is this in music now? There's nothing like this. And there hasn't been, in all honesty, a whole hell of a lot since.
There's never going to be another Van Halen, though. There's never been, ever since Fair Warning, there's never been a band to capture that type of essence of hard rock.
Oh, yeah. And, and for the guitar players, I would say this was the beginning of the Brown sound era. When people talk about the Brown sound of Eddie's guitar tone, I really think the pinnacle of that is this and Diver Down.
Right.
For that certain tone that he had. And what's crazy though is, it wasn't just you who was turned off when this first came out and on your first listen. This is the worst selling of the classic era, which just blows my mind. But then again, I mean, I think they're all amazing, but this album to this day is still only double platinum.
And that's why I really find sales to be bullshit. This is a prime example of, it didn't sell. It only sold 2 million and the others sold 4 and above and 10 million, 8 million. And it's fucking Fair Warning, which I would have put above everything that came after that sold more. Right. I'm just saying sales, I mean, anybody out there that thinks sales matter, okay. Let's see. 3 words for you. Fair warning. Oh, you wait one too.
Yeah.
Well, the last one ain't a word, but you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, but what still gets played today? What do people still talk about? You know. But
No, yeah.
at the time, for whatever reason, it didn't connect like the other ones did. And but you ask anybody who's a true music fan, who's a true Van Halen fan, this is always in the top of their lists is fucking Fair Warning.
But they were
And
they
that
were they were very very popular in '81. You know,
yeah.
they sold out the arenas. I mean, the one I saw was sold out, and it didn't. There wasn't a backlash to Fair Warning. It just didn't sell. You know.
Yeah, which I don't understand, but then again, I can't put myself in the same place as you because I came into it later.
I can't
Uh,
understand either, Ian, because when Women and Children first came out, they played a lot. Cradle of Rock and Everybody Wants Some. I'm talking at the time. I know they're still playing now, but at the time. When Fair Warning came out, I remember hearing Mean Street and Unchained all the time on the radio. And So This Is Love. And you're going to tell me that's less as great as those they're all fucking stellar performances, stellar songs that are perfect 10 songs, and yet one didn't connect at the time and the other one did. It was weird.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
no,
Old Pretty Woman put them back up.
well, it was weird. I was talking to Mrs. Wadzilla today, and she's not as much into the hard rock as I am and stuff, but she knows Van Halen, and she goes, "What album are you doing?" And I told her, she goes, "What's on that album?" I said,
Yeah,
"Unchained," and she's like, "Yeah, I don't know that one."
yeah,
you
she'd
know?
have to hear it though. She knows.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just doesn't ring a bell. The title.
If she heard it, but it's just like, oh, man. But still, for this being the worst selling of the classic era, it still went double platinum, which is twice as much as any Sammy Hagar album ever sold.
Exactly. Yeah,
Solo album, even though he was as big as Van Halen.
he said.
Uh, yeah, but yeah,
You know, I love Google, Ian, because uh, when Sammy said, somebody put this up today. I think it was Mark Daly. He said, "Oh, you know what Sammy said on Howard Stern? He hasn't opened for anybody since 1979." And I Googled the show I was at, and there's a link to it. Fucking Journey, Aerosmith, Bryan Adams, opening act, Sammy Hagar, 1983. Thank you.
yeah. I mean, the guy's just full of fucking lies. I mean, full of fucking lies. And again, you look at his claim to fame is they went to number one, but '84 didn't go to number one. Van Halen one didn't go to number one. Those still sold over 10 million copies apiece. The biggest
Yeah,
selling Van Hagar album was 5150, which arguably they were the biggest band in the world that he walked into, and it sold half of those albums, but yet didn't go to number one. So I could give a shit less. It's just like today when an album goes to number one, it doesn't mean shit now compared to the past because nobody buys albums now. So if you see somebody like, oh, my new album debuted in the top 10, but if this was 1988, you wouldn't be in the top fucking 100 with those with that
yeah, no,
equivalent.
we're and talking about speaking of Hagar Tards, I don't know if we were, but I want to bring up a Hagar Tard. This guy said to me, "Look, Sammy Hagar saved Van Halen because the brothers hated David Lee Roth," and I'm like, you know what? You're right, but how did Van Halen end? They hated Sammy Hagar and brought Dave back. Ooh, bam, 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 diddly dee.
Yeah, yeah,
All right, all right, all right.
yeah. Yeah, there's no accounting for it. Dave is the voice of Van Halen, if you're a straight male. And I mean no disrespect to gay. There's a lot of gay people tell you the same thing.
Yeah, no,
You
they
know,
all fucking gay
it,
people hate Van Hagar.
I guess that's a bad analogy. Even gay people know what's better. It's bitches. that listen
Yeah,
to Sam
yeah.
Hagar.
And I'm telling you,
Real bitch.
there's no gay people, dude, that hate Van Hagar. And let's say, the Van Hagar fans that do suck dick, they're gonna feel a lot of teeth. They suck at it. So they're not really gay. They're just dying to be gay from hearing dreams.
Yeah, yeah. The people like Van Hagar liked. Uh, they don't like to watch their wives get fucked by somebody else, but they do it anyway. Like you always said, like you'd like to watch your old lady get nailed by some other people.
Hell
But
yeah.
the people like Van Hagar are the people sitting in the corner crying because their old lady's fucking somebody in front of them. You
Yeah,
know.
in a Nixon mask. I don't know why they wear a Nixon mask, but they cry to hide the tears, maybe.
But this is rock and roll for real men and for real women and real gay people know this. That
Hell yeah. Where you feel
this
no teeth when they slob on the knob.
uh this is fucking real rock and roll through and through. It's a landmark album, and all you need to know this is a great album. Rolling Stone gave this album 2.5 stars.
Oh, that's the badge of honor right there.
That's how you know. And they said the most significant musical development is the synthesizer introduced at the end of Fair Warning.
Which rules, by the way, but they got
Yeah,
that part right.
which rules, but they say that's the best part of the album. So if somebody says that to you, what does that tell you about what the fuck they know about Van Halen? What the fuck they know about rock and roll, period? I mean, this is fucking Fair Warning. So, Ralph, why don't you take the opening track, the legendary Mean Street?
Hell yeah. I don't know why I didn't get this the first listen. The way Eddie comes in to showing everybody, hey, everybody, I got a new trick. Doing all this crazy shit with the tapping, but adding a couple other fingers with the tapping and sliding the finger up and down the string. Yeah, it's just, and then the groove that comes in with that fucking originally Voodoo Queen riff from the old demos. That groove that Alex and Michael, when they come in on that song, that shows you if it is Michael, I don't know, but that shows you the strong backbeat this band fucking had. That rhythm section was badass. It complimented Eddie and the way they're on different speakers, which kind of sucks if one side doesn't work. But when you hear Eddie on just one side and the other two on the other side, and then the awesome, badass, I don't give a fuck what anybody says because everybody's too much into perfection. I like the organic nature and the beautiful, awesome voice of Dave Lee Roth that comes in on that song. He sounds mean, pissed, which is different. Like I'm saying, it even starts off dark. And this is a song about, fucking, I don't know what it's about. You never know what Dave's talking about, but I get the vibe of, getting your ass kicked in the street. So, yeah, and that solo in the middle, woo, that fucking screaming thing that Eddie does, like, fuck, dude. This song is fucking one of the best songs they've ever done. That's what I think.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love it. What a way to start off the album, and that but yeah, it is darker than the party anthems, but they started this a little bit. They got a little bit darker with women and children first. There's some darker, heavier moments on that, but this is some next level shit. And this song in itself almost justifies the album cover because this song, sonically sounds like the album cover looks like all hell's breaking loose, and it is something different from Van Halen, and maybe it is that push and pull from the shit between Dave and Eddie, but it just fucking works, man. It is so fucking angry and pissed off, and you could hear, Eddie loved Tony Iommi, and you can hear the heaviness of even though it doesn't sound like a Sabbath song, you can hear the heaviness in the tone, and the difference in the tone. That's why it's the brown sound because it is a little bit darker than the brightness that you heard specifically on the first two records. But I mean, just what a way to kick it into gear and let you know This is going to be something different, but yet it still sounds like Van Halen to me. Incredible. And then we go into Dirty Movies. Whoo, one of my favorite Van Halen songs. And this one, I mean, yeah, you got the sex aspect of it, but you've also got like, you know, lyrically, it's a darker tone because you know, the dark side of a girl ended up a porn star. And remember when that girl was prom queen? Oh wow, that kind of shit that only Dave could fucking deliver. Sammy couldn't do that shit if he fucking tried. Couldn't be that cool, that effortless that Dave just throws it out there and it works, and you believe it and you feel it, man. Uh, you
If
know, a
Sammy
great quote.
sang the song, it's like, as I walk down the street and those suckers in the three-piece suits.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Oh, remember when she was my first wife? This sucks," you know. Uh, but I think it was Bill Gazzari, the owner of the legendary Gazzari's Club in L.A., said that you know the brothers make the music and the Jew sells it. And that's what Dave did, man. Dave sold this shit. You believed everything he said. It sounded right, sincere. You felt it when you heard it, you know. And it's like one of these things like, yeah, you know, we all love watching porn and we all love this, but there's a darker side to it. And what drove this girl to, you know, to become this dirty girl. And it's Van Halen through and through, but it is a darker side of Van Halen, one of my all-time favorite songs. Unfortunately, the last tour didn't come through New Orleans, so I didn't get to see him play this, even though they did do the song. Did they do this on the original Fair Warning tour?
No, they did not. And they didn't play it till the last tour, which was great. And Drop Dead Legs wasn't played in '84 tour. And I think those are the only two that they've never played before, and they brought it out on that tour.
And once again, right there, because you know who ran that ship, you know, in the reunion years was fucking Wolfgang. You know, because when Wolfgang's balls dropped, got a little hair on him, he's like, "Hey, Dad, this is when you were good." You know, this is what people like. People like this, you know, this Sammy Hagar shit. This is real rock and roll, and he had a lot to do with the set list. I mean, it's documented. I mean, he's the one who made the call to Dave. You know, he's the one who talked about what songs they should do. Yeah, so the kid's got, you know, even though I might not be into his solo album, the kid's got good taste. He knew what to pick. All-time classic. What do you think of Dirty Movies?
Oh, hell yeah, man. This song rules. And I identify a lot with dirty movies because I watch a lot of dirty movies, Ian, because I am looking for a wife. And this fucking song, like I said, you know, now that beginning solo. Come on, I mean that it's so imperfected and so fucking out there that it's kind of scary. That's another dark part. Oh shit, Eddie can't play no more. It's a really dark, but you know, then at the rest of the song, he's fucking wailing. You know, he's fucking awesome. And yeah, and that there's just something about Van Halen breakdowns, like the lines up the stockings, reach down between my legs, and this one. Remember when she was prom queen? You know, one break coming up. David's like a genius, dude. How he comes up, like, you know, a lot of bands have breakdowns. I'm not saying they invented it, but not every band throws in lyrics like that during a breakdown that says, "Motherfucker, this guy is the greatest frontman to ever exist." Remember when that girl was prom queen? Oh wow. So yeah, this song is stellar, awesome, and yeah, it's hard to say it's one of my favorite Van Halen songs because they're all my favorites, man. The Six Pack had no bad songs on it, except for me, in my opinion. The instrumental 1984 was the only bump. I like every fucking other song they've ever done.
Yeah, I go two. I say 1984 and Dancing in the Streets, but that's
Yeah,
it.
that's right. I remember you saying that. I had an argument with another idiot, like, you know, them covering Dancing in the Street. I go, dude, you do realize that's not a cover song. That's an original song that Eddie wrote that Ted Templeman and Dave made him put the melodies of Dancing on the
Right.
Street in the song. Musically, it's nothing like it. So a lot of those, dude, Where Have All the Good Times Gone? You know, that doesn't sound like the Kinks version. You
Oh,
know,
hell no.
I'm just saying it may be a covers album. They got to give credit to these bands, but they wrote the goddamn music to it. So to me, they're not cover songs. Ice Cream Man. Have you heard the original Ice Cream Man?
Yes.
Holy
Yes.
shit, man. It's not the same goddamn song. Even the
Well,
lyrics are a little longer, you know?
well, even on the first album, the Kinks song, they
Yeah,
reinvented that.
You're
That
no good. You're no good on Van
yeah,
Halen too. You heard
they
that in the
reinvented that.
Ronstadt version? That's not the same
Yeah,
goddamn song.
yeah, yeah. They didn't do like a straightforward like, oh, we're just gonna do this, and then you get Sammy Hagar. What do they cover? Apolitical Blues by fucking Little Feat. Get the fuck out of here.
Wow,
You
I
know.
didn't even know that. I don't even know that song. I've heard of Little Feat though.
Yeah, yeah, but it was I believe at the time it was only on the CD version of OU812, but it's
Wow,
like
even making it worse.
yeah, horrible. But yeah, no, Dave and Eddie. I don't know if I've ever. I think even more than Jagger and Richards. I would put Roth and Eddie up there with Waters and Gilmore and Lennon and McCartney. Like never before, like people had so much talent, but yet if you take something out of that equation, it's never going to be the same. It's never, as much as I love some solo Lennon and I love some solo McCartney, you know, they're at their best when they're together perfectly. The same way with Gilmore and Waters. And when they get apart, there can be a little bit too much of one. Like, Dave sometimes can get a little bit too much goofy, and fucking Eddie can get a little bit too much, keyboard and musically. But when they're together and on the same page, it's fucking untouchable. I mean, unfucking touchable.
Yep.
Roth and fucking Eddie, man.
Hell yeah. The greatest American band, in my opinion.
Hell yeah. Oh, I agree 1,000%.
Because it's
All right.
real, It's not like what Dave was saying, even though it was abstract, it sounded badass. It wasn't like, jump in the back seat. I got something to show you. Stupid shit like that. No, Dave was like, yeah, don't take them off. Leave them on.
Yeah.
He pulled a Lee Gersman there because Lee likes chicks dressed.
Take it outside. Tuck your shirt in. All right. Well, the next song, and this shows you how great this album is. If I had to pick a least favorite, it would be this song. And I love this fucking song. Sinner's Swing. Oh my God. Now this one to me sounds like it could have came right off Van Halen 1. It has that ba-ba-da, shooby-da-wah element of it,
Yeah.
And I love it. And, something you pointed out, when you saw this live, and I'll let you go into it, but when he says she looks so fucking good, just the way he says it, the way he emotes it, and it was a different time. It was a simpler time when you didn't really hear stuff like that.
Nope.
But it's not like it's said for shock value. Like, oh, I'm just gonna cuss to cuss. But it's the way he emotes it and gets it out. Like you totally feel it. You know what he's talking about. Like this is a hot ass fucking bitch, and we are gonna party. We're gonna do all us sinners. Let's get together and do it. But at the same time, it has that kind of it's heavy, but it has that Jimmy Durante kind of fucking nothing but a gigolo kind of feel to it too that Dave brings to it, and it totally comes together, and it's quintessential Van Halen. I love Sinner's Swing. What do you think, Ralph?
Yeah, dude. I mean, when I got to bring up that story when they played it live. Just imagine this scenario. What I already told you about On Fire. to end on fire and go right into Sinner Swing. It's like a 1-2 punch, and then everybody's still fucking buzzing from that visual and the smoking version of On Fire they just did. Then they go into this, and when Dave said she looks so fucking good, I didn't hear like the next 20 seconds of the song because the whole place screamed so loud it drowned out the fucking band. And I've heard bootlegs of this. Didn't happen at every show. I was lucky to be at one of the shows when it happened because I have heard bootlegs when he says she looks so fucking good, and you can't hear like 10 seconds of the song because that city got the same reaction my city got. And that solo, I think that's the first time Ed introduced a horse. The way that fucking solo starts like, and ripping fucking song. Oh yeah, dude, this shit's a fucking classic, man. Sinner Swing fucking rules. Thank you.
Awesome. Why don't you take the next song?
Next song is Hear About It Later, right? Of course, I know.
Yes,
it's
sir.
in my DNA. Yeah, this is the one song I said I heard the first time I heard this album, and I went, wow, now that song kicked ass. And I still feel the same way. This song is so fucking epic. And again, the way Eddie starts that song is this different sound again. That was a fucking genius. And, you can try me at home. It feels all right, but I ain't home tonight. What does that mean? It doesn't matter. It's badass, that fucking line. Whatever the fuck he's talking about. Just the way he would like add these words that made no fucking sense. You can't get romantic on a subway line. The conductor don't like it, says you're wasting your time. What the fuck does that mean? It means those are some fucking cool ass words put together, even though it doesn't make no goddamn sense. And that's how Sinner Swing is. Hear About It Later. Ain't got no money, not no house on a hill. Tell me, honey, would you love and pay my bills? I mean, come on, that's total Andrew Jacobs fucking.
Yeah, you beat me to it. Drake Cole, pay my bills.
Yeah, exactly. He's like Andrew Jacobs. He works. He goes out and tours and writes music. But everything else, he's like, hey, look, I'll take that page from Andrew Jacobs. I'll mooch off my wife. But yeah, dude, come on. I mean, how can you not love this fucking song? Even me, being an idiot that hated it on first listen, could not deny how great this song is. This song is, again, I hate saying it's one of my favorites. No, they're all my favorites. Love it. What do you think?
Oh, well, hell yeah. It was my ringtone when I call you. Always.
Oh, yeah. I got to bring this up, Ian. The infamous show where I passed out drunk or I threw up, and then you called me to see if I was okay. And then my phone started playing Hear About It Later, and you're like, oh, cool, Van Halen.
Yeah. I wasn't far behind you. But oh my God. I mean, just, and real Van Halen fans know this song. This guy did an episode while you were gone, and Johnny Bogan's like, I don't like the chorus, but Johnny Bogan thinks Steelheart's Angel Eyes is a great fucking song. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's a great chorus on that song.
Yeah, it's got a great chorus. I really felt that one.
I wish they would have put Angel Eyes inside Hear About It Later during that chorus. It would have been much better.
Yeah. When he tried to bang his wife after the Motley Crue episode, he started singing Angel Eyes, and she's like, nah.
Yeah,
dry as sand down here.
She put a restraining order out on him.
But this song, oh my God. And when I saw him on the second, of the reunion era tours, they played this. I almost got thrown out. I had, God, was I like 5th row or 11th row or something? I was really close for this one. Got up on my chair. I lost my fucking mind. I was like, oh my God. Oh, I mean, this is, they could have fucking Rodney King my ass right then and there, and I would have been fine. I would have been fine because I got to hear this motherfucker live. I mean, when I heard the first notes of this fucking song, I was just losing it. I mean, it's fucking Dave, like you said. Half the lyrics are like, I mean, a lot of them are genius. And there was like, you listen to the lyrics of Stay Frosty. That shit, like, goddamn, that beats 90% of Bob Dylan shit. But
Hell
then
yeah.
there's a whole nother half. You're like, what the fuck is he saying? I don't know, but it sounds so fucking cool. Reminds me of the Doors. Like, I love the Doors. I ain't into fucking poetry. I have no idea what the fuck Jim Morrison is talking about, but fucking A, when he sings it, it sure sounds fucking good and I feel it. And that's the same way with fucking Dave. And, I don't know what he wants to hear about later, probably fucking Andrew Jacobs' tears while he's fucking his wife in the fucking trach, yeah, cry me a river later, you fucking gimp.
She's a
But
whore.
she's a hooah. She's a filthy fucking hooah. But hear about it later, man. It's just Van Halen through and through. Again, this is one that harkens back to the first three albums. I could have seen this fitting perfectly on Van Halen 2 or Women and Children First. But what a way to end the album. I mean to end the side. I mean, just fucking incredible. And even you, like you said, the first three didn't grab you on your first listen, but you heard that, you're like, okay, here we go. That's Van Halen. But if you're not a Van Halen fanatic, chances are you don't hear about it later. And that's a damn shame that you don't hear this on rock radio.
Yeah.
Like the other stuff is pummeled in the ground. But what I do love, man, is, time does heal all wounds. And when you do listen to rock radio, what the fuck do you hear? You hear the Dave shit. You don't hear that fucking Sammy garbage. You hear true fucking Van Halen.
Well, they want people to listen.
Yeah, exactly. You don't hear Can't Stop Loving You, fucking shit like that. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But Ralph, why don't you flip this album over and take the first song on side 2?
Unchained. What a great fucking song. They use it a lot for openings. And yeah, it's probably the most well-known song on this album. But it is played on radio. I've heard it played on radio still. Well, I haven't heard terrestrial radio in like 2-3 years now, but I remember hearing it like a few years back. And yeah, dude, come on. And it's got this, my favorite part of the whole song is where Dave goes, I don't ask for permission. It's my time to fly. Maybe enough ain't enough for you, but it's my turn to fly. Something like that. I don't know. I just, the way he says that part, right, that kicks off that second verse. What a badass fucking verse. What a badass performance of organic realism with Dave's deliverance and the way he says that part. It's just fucking awesome. And then, of course, the infamous, one break coming up, which forever I never realized that when Dave says one break coming up, the band takes a break. And there's a silence. And it goes into the song where Dave is saying, one break coming up and the band breaks. That's some genius shit, man. Thank you. Fucking awesome song. Absolutely love it. Rips. And that live version from Oakland, that, man, those 3 clips from Oakland, that kind of gives you what I saw. Because those 3 performances, So This Is Love, Hear About It Later, and Unchained, what great. You see the audience going fucking berserk and the way they deliver it. And Dave sang great back then. Fuck everybody. You don't know what you're talking about. Dave never sang good live. Fuck you. Go watch those 3 fucking videos and then go shove a fucking banana up your ass sideways. Thank you.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, this is one of the greatest Van Halen songs of all time. The working title for this was Hit the Ground Running. God damn, do I love this one. And it features probably the only other vocalist that I like in Van Halen, which is Ted Templeman. Where he says,
Yeah.
Come on, Dave, give me a break. And that is so iconic. And you can just imagine, like, when they're recording this, what the fuck Dave was doing to get him to say that. But, Dave's got the perfect response, One break coming. It's so fucking iconic. And that is the kind of shit and that you would never get without Dave on vocals. You would never get anything like Unchained.
It's the genius of him. When you say, give me a break, and then he answers it with one break coming up, it's that genius, like Hot for Teacher. I don't feel tardy. I mean, come on, dude. That's really genius shit. You're tardy. Well, I don't feel tardy. I mean, come on. One break coming up.
Yeah. I mean, just look at all this shit like that. Like, uh, reach down between my legs. I don't feel tardy. One break coming up. Look at all those iconic moments in rock and roll history you get from Dave. What do you get from Sammy? Only time will tell if we stand the test of time. There's a fucking drop off there.
Look, mommy, look at the eagle fly.
Oh my God. But again, here this is another Van Halen song that would have fit on any of the previous records. You could hear this intensity. This is classic Van Halen through and through. All time fucking great track. And yeah, I mean, those 3 songs from that Oakland show, it's a shame they didn't film the whole thing. And Michael Anthony said no, they only filmed parts of it. So anybody's dreams of that full show coming out, unfortunately, not going to happen. But it does. It just shows you that's bombastic rock and roll at its core.
At its best.
Yeah. And what I love, what Dave would refer to Van Halen's sound, he didn't call it hard rock. He didn't call it heavy metal. He called it big rock.
Yep.
And that's what it was, man. It was rock and roll on a whole nother level, bombastic, funny, catchy, sexy. It was, until Eddie changed it into what it was. And I hate to speak ill of the dead, but man, Eddie's just as responsible for killing that band as Sammy Hagar is.
Yep.
In the tone he took it, the direction he took it, his desire for approval, and I don't want to be known as just this. I want to be known as that. And it's like, God damn it, you're great at what you did, and there's nothing wrong with what you did. You're not any less of a Mozart playing fucking Eruption than you are playing Can't Stop Loving You. That doesn't make you better.
Whatever the fuck Eddie came up with during the Van Hagar years, Sammy's like, yeah, do it, because you guys are paying me more than I ever made. I'll sing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you play fucking pussy watered down shit, it's much easier for him to sing to. It's much more in his wheelhouse than to try to be creative, God damn, I mean, I just love it. And then you come out of that and you go into Push Comes to Shove, which, okay, now we're taking it into a dark direction again. And again, why this is considered a darker record. And what I love about this is, I wouldn't call it a love song, but it's a heartbroken song. But it's a realistic heartbroken song, just detailing somebody sitting alone, dealing with whatever they went through. But it sounds relatable and sounds real. Doesn't sound fake or pretentious or try to write, a love song into some, Maya Angelou poem. This is just like, is there anything left in that bottle? I have another cigarette. It's just like everybody's been at that point where it's just like, fuck, I just got my ass kicked by love. Love isn't always great, doesn't always end well. And the way this works lyrically and musically, it's perfect. And it's relatable because it's real. It's not manufactured. It's not like, oh, this is gonna be the second single, so we want it to be a ballad kind of thing. This is just a downtrodden, sad, fucking fucked up love song, and I love it. What do you think of Push Comes to Shove?
Yeah, the beginning of the song gives me a vibe of like a guy in a ghetto, like with some fucking crack whore. Well, back then, what was it called? Freebase whore? Whatever. Yeah. And back then he was like, hey, it sounds like he's talking to some fucked up hooker, It's, because the music, inflects this vibe of grittiness, like real dark grittiness. Like it doesn't sound like Dave is in a safe environment while he's saying that part. And this song, to me, has the greatest goddamn Eddie Van Halen solo on Fair Warning. This solo is, I I may be wrong because it's been so long, but I do kind of remember on first listen, I was like, holy shit, that's a good solo. The song sucks. That's what I thought first listen. But that solo was good. That solo is so ripping. And it matches perfect. And this is a song never played live, not even the club days. It's a new song and it's never been performed live. And it's a damn shame because this song fucking rules. It's the darkest song, I think, on the album. And it's got this menacing vibe, like a ghetto fucking poverty fucking vibe. And it just fucking owns. I love it, man. Push it up to the show. Hell yeah.
Awesome. Why don't you take the next song?
Next song is My DNA Tells Me It's So This Is Love, right?
Yes, sir.
Ah, now this is Party Van Halen. This is good time. I don't know. I can't understand why I didn't like this on the first listen. Maybe by this time of the album, I was like fucking just pissed and didn't give anything a chance till I went back. This song rules. It's definitely Van Halen 2 vibe, and it's like, and this is how you write a fucking love song. Hey, look, I feel good. This is love and this and that. Not like some fucking pound cake judgment day bullshit. Or we'll fly higher and higher. The stupid ass fucking shit. I'll never fall. I'll fall. Whatever the fuck this guy talks about. This guy, even when he writes a straight up love song, man, that motherfucker's getting drunk with that chick. They're getting fucking loaded on fucking. They're doing blow. They're fucking. They're drinking alcohol, and fucking Dave is high on coke, liquored up, and saying, "Shit, this is love." He's really talking about the fucking drugs, but fuck, man, the pussy with the blow and the fucking alcohol. Yeah, this is fucking love. Not Sammy Hagar's version where I love you, baby, till I go on the road and have groupies give me head. Fuck that. Dave is like, I ain't getting married because I'm going to have groupies giving me head. See, he's a classy dude. That's what I think of So This Is Love.
Well, hell yeah. I mean, perfect Van Halen song. This is another one that, harkens back to the earlier albums. My baby's on the corner. She's looking so fine. Put one and one together and it blows my mind.
Yeah.
Man needs love to live. I'm the living proof. Can't stand still and I hit the roof. I mean,
hit the roof. That right there. That's a slang for doing a lot of blow.
Yeah. But this is just written by a guy that's got a fucking incredible heart on for a chick and he's happy. And I love it. What's crazy is this was the first single off the album.
And it was Ian in the early days because I disagree with everybody. To me, MTV started sucking around 84, 85. But before that, they didn't have many videos. They had those 3 videos, but So This Is Love was played way more than the other 2. More than Unchained, more. That was the one they would play. Now and then you'd catch Unchained and hear about it later, on sporadic days. Yeah, later on they would show it a lot on Headbangers Ball and stuff. But back then, So This Is Love was I can understand why it was a single because that's the one that MTV pushed the most.
Yeah, there was only 2 singles off of that, this and Unchained. This was the first one. And, oh my God, I can't believe it, but this peaked at 110. Was the highest this charted, but it did make 15 on the mainstream rock charts. But, while, everybody else was listening to If You Get Caught Between the Moon and New York City, which I love that shit. But goddamn, here's Van Halen telling you a real fucking love song, a fucking upbeat, fucking kick-ass fucking love song. But in 1981, for whatever reason, this shit just wasn't fucking hitting. But to rock and roll fans, it did. Classic. And Wolfgang would play a solo spot during the intro of this on the initial reunion tour with Dave.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he would do a little solo at the beginning of this, and God, I remember fucking hearing that at my first Van Halen show because I refused to go see him during the Sammy years, and I would not go see Dave with anybody but I wouldn't go see Eddie with anybody but Dave. And I'd seen Dave multiple times solo, but I'm like, no, I refuse to, hear hear that Sammy Hagar shit or to hear fucking the guy from fucking Extreme, really? The guy from fucking Extreme sing fucking
He
Halen?
sucked just as much as Samuel. Everybody, well, at least it's not as bad as Fat Sharon. Yeah, it is. They all
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, he was worse than getting a Dave clone. He was a Sammy clone. I
Yeah.
mean, you listen to that shit with Gary Sharon, he's ripping off Sammy Hagar.
Yep.
Like, God, you really? You rip off the? I mean, and people are like, oh yeah, but the set list, I don't give a fuck. But vocally, he's much more in tune with Sammy Hagar than he is David Lee Roth. Now I don't know. Maybe if they got the dude from fucking Steel Panther singing, I might go because that motherfucker loves David Lee Roth. You know, but
Then you'll have the people that say the excuse. Yeah, but with Sharon, they played the classics.
yeah,
So you see him over there touching his ass, singing these fucking songs, and then just as bad. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Just as bad when Gary leaves the stage and gives the mic to Michael Anthony for somebody give me a doctor. That guy sucks, dude. I'm sorry. With fucking Eddie Van Halen, he is the greatest backing vocals in the world. Give him a mic alone, dude. That guy fucking blows. And when he hits those high notes, I just want to slap him. But do it in the backing vocals with Eddie. See, a lot of people, Eddie can't sing because of how many say I. Well, neither can Michael, but you put those both together,
yeah.
dude, that's peanut butter and awesome.
The greatest thing that Michael Anthony ever did was if you see or listen to bootlegs from the Diver Down tour, when him and Dave would do Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers.
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, trading off vocals, not a whole song.
Oh yeah, but that just shows you like this guy can't handle. I mean, seriously, in this day and age, if they would have toured with Gary Sharon, that microphone stand would have fucking had a Me Too moment with fucking Gary Sharon.
Ooh,
the way fuck that fucking thing, that fucking fruitcake. Jesus Christ, really? The guy from Extreme is in Van Halen. Like God damn, like Sammy Hagar wasn't bad enough, you know.
yeah.
Well, it was the guy from Pretty Boy Floyd busy that day. Jeez.
Hey, Ian, I hear an echo
Oh,
from me.
how about?
When I
Oh,
talk, I hear an echo from me, whatever I'm saying.
oh, well, that's because what you're saying is so insightful. You got to hear it twice.
Uh,
All right. Well, yeah. So This Is Love is fucking amazing, and then we go into a song that a lot of people argue on this. Is it genius? Is it fucking filler? I tend to lean towards the genius. Sunday Afternoon in the Park. God damn, is it fucking eerie and fucking creepy? And I don't mind that Eddie's doing the keyboard shit because it's unique. This doesn't sound like fucking Flock of Seagulls. Doesn't sound like Emerson, Lake and Palmer. If anything, it reminds me of E5150 by fucking Sabbath, you know, which came out the same year.
yeah, dark.
Very dark and eerie keyboards. And it's very just like sets the mood. Like, whoa, where are they going here? And that is a big 180, especially from what you've heard from Van Halen up until that point. Like, you might have heard a little bit of synthesizer, but nothing like this. But it works. It just fucking works for me. What do you think of Sunday Afternoon in the Park?
And every time I think of the song, I think of the interview I heard on the radio from David Lee Roth when this album was released. I think it was on Jim Ladd. He said, Sunday Afternoon in the Park is the soundtrack of a huge crab underwater. And it makes sense because you think about it, you know, can you imagine huge fucking monster crab underwater walking around with this playing? That shit makes a lot of sense. And yeah, there's nothing. Listen to this keyboard sound and then put on Dreams. Give me a break. It's not the same fucking sound. It's this dark, gritty, fucked up sound. And those effects on Alta's drum is just perfect. Perfect. And I don't know if there is guitar on this fucking song. I don't know. All I know, it's fucking awesome. I love it. It's hard for me to separate it with the last track because to me, the last track just comes in too quick. Where dude, you cannot make a mix or anything putting One Foot Out the Door without putting Sunday Afternoon in the Park. It's a song to me. It's a song.
Right.
It's the Hellion Electric Eye. You know, they
Yeah,
are
I
both one fucking song, and I absolutely love it. It's fucking awesome. It's just a dark fucking tone to it, and fucking you don't need guitars and blasting bass to be dark and heavy as fuck. And that's what it proves on here. You know, this song is just as heavy as any Van Halen song, in most cases, heavier. And there's no guitar. I don't think. And if it is a guitar, it's being bled through synthesizer or some shit. I don't know. I don't know the technical. I wasn't there when they recorded this, but it doesn't sound like a guitar to me, and it's still heavy as fuck. And yeah, dude. And yeah, it goes into the last track, which makes a lot of sense how it comes in with Sunday Afternoon in the Park. Without it, it's like, whoa, you know, the vocals come in too quick, you know. But it's fucking this song, short, to the point. I've been thinking about Saturday Night with You. I've been thinking about it all week long, but don't come and look at that. Some of the bitch got me singing the same old song. What the fuck does that mean? It means those are genius lyrics that make no sense, but it's awesome. And then,
what I get out of that is, you know, it's like basically this guy's fucking Andrew Jacobs' wife, and he's like, oh, that son of a bitch is coming back from cashing his unemployment check. I got to get out of here before he touches me and I get freckles. But oh my God, the way that comes in, and it's like one of the punkiest, heaviest things they've ever done. It's just fucking amazing. I always had like this dream, like this, to me, this would have been a perfect, like, come on for the encore kind of song. You know, like, you know, fuck it. End the regular show with like fucking Jump, you know, but then come back, you know, everybody's screaming, everybody's clapping. You go into Sunday Afternoon in the Park and then come out with One Foot Out the Door.
Yeah, reward those people that didn't run to get out of traffic in time. You know, play that as an encore. That's, you know, one thing I didn't mention. They filmed this Sunday Afternoon in the Park and One Foot Out the Door. They made a video for it, and I have the pictures of it. I've never seen it. The pictures of them playing outdoors with a gigantic dinosaur behind them, and I have like 4 pictures of it. Man, God, release that. Can you imagine them releasing that fucking video? And they're dressed up in their fair warning gear, you know, with the red and white striped socks. And Dave's, you know, it has a picture of Dave with his, you know, 1 foot way the fuck over his head with a big dinosaur and the band playing. And it's like, you know, it's in a forest that looks like the trees were burned because it has no leaves and smoke, like they added smoke to it. The visual of just 3 fucking pictures blows my mind. I'm going, wow, I would love to see this video. You know?
I've never seen that.
I'll send you the pictures. It's awesome. Yeah, and the pictures are a little blurry and everything, but still awesome to think. You know, and you see the cameraman in the video, like in the pictures, videoing them. You know, it's fucking amazing, man. Wish they would release it.
Wow. And I don't, was this ever played live?
No. Neither Sunday Afternoon in the Park. Maybe he did a piece of it. I could be wrong, during his little cathedral part where he did, because he did Cathedral on the Fair Warning tour. That's the first, and I was like, what the fuck's he doing? You know, I'm in the nosebleeds. I'm like, dude, there's a spotlight on him. He's got a guitar and he's playing Cathedral. And I can't see him twiddling the knobs from that far up. And I'm thinking, dude, that sounds like some fucking keyboard or some shit coming out of his guitar. What the fuck's he doing? Guy was a fucking genius. But that's great. And I got to also add, and I'll let you wrap it up, the solo. Listening to the solo of One Foot Out the Door is kind of like the same feeling you listen to the solo of You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. You Can't Kill Rock and Roll from Ozzy, because you don't want it to fade out. You just want to hear it longer, because it just fades out, him ripping. It's like, God, I wish there would be a release of them doing it till he stops playing. That would have been awesome. But still, such a smoking way to end the album. It's like, hey, everybody, just to remind you, this is why I'm Guitar Player of the Year for the past 3 years. And he does this ripping solo at the end of the album that, yeah, the album just leaves you like, ah. And also, I got to bring a very important part. How short it is awesome. I love short fucking albums. And all Van Halen albums were perfection. Now, you pull a Hysteria and shit like that in the 80s, you ain't going to have that quality, man. So,
No.
Trim out all the fat. Fair warning is perfection, and it ends with Eddie ripping your head off. But I guess they faded it out because if they didn't, many people would have died from pure awesomeness.
Well, yeah, I mean, you bring up a great point. The album is 31 minutes and 11 seconds. That will change your life. I mean, Jesus Christ, you know, there's longer episodes of fucking Cops, you know, than this fucking album. And
there's longer songs on Dream Theater albums than this whole album.
Yeah, exactly. They have concept albums where, like, you know, the keyboard solo doesn't end until 31 seconds or 31 minutes and 11 seconds. You know, I made a joke about the one time I saw Dream Theater. They played 6 songs and it ended 2 days later.
What?
Yikes. Yeah, these guys just came in and kicked ass, and what a way to leave. I love the fade out on One Foot Out the Door. Is just amazing because I've said it time and time again. The greatest albums just leave you wanting more, or to make you just, you know, flip it over and start all over again. Like, holy fuck, the way it fades out. And, you know, something we didn't bring up earlier is this album was supposed to start up where Women and Children first ended, with the instrumental that's now known as Growth.
You know, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Da-da-da. You know, it was supposed to start out with that. They ended up scrapping that idea. And, you know, it just kicks off with Mean Streets. But, oh my God, the way this album ends, oh my God. They could have done the same thing with Diver Down, just like pick it up and run. It's amazing rock and roll through and through. And I don't trust anybody who doesn't like this album. If you got anything to bitch about, or you don't like this, you're like, yeah, but it's no for unlawful carnal. Now get the fuck out of here. All right,
it's too short. The album's too short.
Yeah, it's like an EP of the greatest shit I've ever heard in my life. Oh God, it doesn't have Wham Bam Amsterdam on it.
Oh my God.
You know, get the fuck out of here. This is rock and roll meant for men and real fucking women and awesome gay people.
That's right. You listen to this shit and you party all night doing blow. You wake up at fucking 7 in the afternoon the next day. You ain't getting up for breakfast. You saw what I did there?
oh.
Yeah, right. Oh. Shrugs rule.
Ooh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is fair warning.
Well, wait. Ladies and gentlemen, and Andrew and Terrence. You know they're listening.
Yes, that was fair warning. Released April 29th, 1981, which it's coming up on its 40th anniversary. Holy shit, I can't believe it's been 40 years since this album came out. Holy fuck.
God damn, I'm old.
I know. Once again, produced by
16. I was 16 when this fucking album came out. Holy fuck.
Once again, produced by Ted Templeman, engineered by Ed Landy or Don Landy. What the fuck's his name? Is it Ed or Don Landy? Don Landy.
Don Landy, yeah.
Don Landy. Oh my God, just incredible. Incredible. This is a life-changing record. If you've never heard it, you probably don't listen to this show. If you haven't heard it in a while, listen to it again and again. This is pure fucking unadulterated rock and roll.
If you would have played it in the background, listening to this whole episode, you could have heard it 30 times.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just in the news segment.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that being said, it's great. We're getting back to basics. We had iTunes reviews, we had news, we had an album review. Now we got to go to pick of the week. And Ralph, what you been listening to lately?
Um, there's this band called Onslaught. They've been around forever.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, their last album, Generation Antichrist, is the best goddamn album I've heard in a long fucking time. It's my favorite album of 2020. Every song is just fucking pummeling awesome and genius lyrics. I mean, the guy's not a big fan of a religion, and he really goes off on religion. He goes off on the media, and it makes a lot of sense, everything this guy's saying. It's genius lyrics to amazing fucking thrashing music. There's not a, this is all killer, no filler. As I speak, who knows, 20 years from now, but I don't know, like that song. But I'm telling you, this fucking album, Generation Antichrist from Onslaught, is my pick of the week.
what
Yeah.
what what's the lineup for Onslaught right now? Who's singing for him?
They got a new singer. You know, I had Nige on my podcast. He's like the only original member. They've had their original singer. Oh man, what was his name? Psy, I think. He's been in the band all the way up to the album right before it. Even though there's one album with Steve Grimace
from Grim Reaper.
but that album was recorded with the original singer, which I didn't know till I interviewed him. But the thing is that the record company made them put Steve Grimace on it, but he still has In Search of Sanity with the original singer. And, then that guy came back, but he left because life, he couldn't afford it no more. So they got a mega fan to sing for them. This guy that's like a real mega fan that worked for them. He was in the background. I forgot what he did, maybe a roadie or something, but he was a mega fan. And dude, this guy's voice is awesome. And you feel it. You can tell this guy's like, holy fuck, I'm in Onslaught, He really delivers. It's so badass. I love it. I love the sound of it. The drums are really wicked on it. And just the song structures, it's a fucking glorious album. I highly suggest.
Yeah, I gotta check that one out because I'm definitely a fan of their older albums and shit. So
Yeah.
definitely want to check.
Away.
And that's I recommend older '80s Onslaught to anybody. Go check it out, especially if you love new wave of British heavy metal bands and stuff. Man, check out Onslaught. But I will check. What's the name of the newer album?
Generation Antichrist.
All right. Well, I will check that out. All right. Well, my pick of the week is the brand new album from Tomahawk, which Tomahawk is a, I hate to say side project because there's a lot of people involved in it, but it's Mike Patton from Faith No More and Trevor Dunn, who was in Mr. Bungle and a million other bands, the guitar player from Jesus Lizard, and I believe the drummer is from Helmet. Really cool band, but they've kind of been all over the map with their releases. First two were kind of similar. Third one was like, holy shit, it was all them recording like ancient Indian songs, like Native American Indian songs. And then they put out Oddfellows, which is when Trevor Dunn joined the band. And that was more like getting back to what they did. But the new one is really, really fucking good. I recommend it to, of course, anybody who likes Faith No More. But even if you don't like Faith No More, it's not that, it doesn't have the bounciness of Faith No More. But it's just a heavy, great fucking record. And anybody who's into any of Mike Patton's various projects, or Jesus Lizard or Helmet, check it out. The new album is called Tonic Immobility, and just came out. Really fucking good. That is my pick of the week.
Right on. I did hear that last Mr. Bungle, and yeah, I'm not a Mike Patton fan. I do love Digging the Grave, that Faith No More song. I love it. I love his singing on it. I love everything about that song. But I couldn't get into his voice, but the music is kind of like a throwback of SOD. And as I understand, those are old demos that, Scott Ian heard before Mr. Bungle, before Faith No More, that they re-recorded.
Oh yeah, well that's what they were inspired by was like SOD and early Slayer when Bungle first
Yeah,
got together, and that's why they record them with. Now they have Dave Lombardo
yeah.
as the drummer, Mr. Bungle, and Scott Ian as the
No,
rhythm guitar
it's
player.
musically it's vicious. It's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely thrashy. If you like old school hardcore and thrash, check out that last Mr. Bungle album. Uh, the Easter Bunny ravaging the. I don't know. I'm a little buzzed right now, but I like it. I know Edwin Canestracci went and saw him live, and he didn't like it because he didn't know any of the songs, and he thought it was too heavy. But I dug it. But yeah, check out the Tomahawk record, and I'm definitely going to check out the Onslaught record because that sounds right up my fucking alley.
Right on.
All right, well now it's time to go into fan of the week, and was kind of torn here. Uh, so we're gonna have two fans of the week, and the first fan of the week is the doctor who gave Andrew Jacobs' wife the trach. So there's another place to shove your cock because everybody needs a lot of fun for $5, and that you can get thanks to this doctor. The second one would be the fucking asshole who left the Antron 33 review.
The poser.
And yeah, that lets me know that we're doing something right, Ralph, because there's a lot of shows out there you can listen to. Everybody and their brother has a podcast, especially, you look, Ralph and I started this back in fucking 2014. And look at the number of podcasts now. If you want some vanilla bullshit, it's out there and it's plentiful. But if you want some real shit and you want to listen to real honest reviews by people who live this shit, Ralph and I live this stuff. We were at the shows, we bought the albums. We still to this day love and live this fucking music. Listen to us. But I
Yeah.
love that this guy left a review letting us know that, you know what, even the posers out there can't deny us. They still got, even this asshole listened to 10 fucking episodes of a show that he so claimed hated. And, to him, all I got to say is, well, you should have listened past the Terrence episodes.
Oh
You might
God.
have found something
That's true. Yeah, but you think about it. Look. Oh, here. Hi, I'm going to pretend I'm him. Hi, I'm a poser, and I don't like the music I used to like. So I'm going to go listen to the podcast talking about bands I don't like anymore because I'm a bitch. And that's who leaves us a negative review. How proud can we be that somebody that
Yeah.
doesn't listen to these bands anymore dislikes us? That's who we want to dislike us.
Yes,
That
and
makes me feel better.
he hated us so much he had to leave a review. I like
Yeah,
that. We still made him work,
yeah.
and he worked. Unlike Terrence and Andrew, he still put forth the effort to leave us a negative review.
Yeah,
So
it
even
reminds
though
me of today. Today, I almost daily get a Kistard comment. This one guy wrote, making fun of Paul is lame. Why don't you go look for a new hobby?" So I wrote, "You're right. I should look for a new hobby. I should be a bitch, leaving comments on people because it hurts my widow feelings."
that's funny, I sent the same thing to Paul Stanley. I said, "Why don't you stop ruining Kiss and get a new hobby?"
He did Soul Station.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, at least
He
you
listened.
listened.
He listened.
All right. Well, once again, I want to thank everybody for still listening to this show. The response that we've gotten from coming back has been amazing. And here's your chance to meet us and hang out with us at Rockin' Pod 4. Do not pass that up. There are deals on hotel rooms, deals on your admission, and bring your dealer because we need drugs.
Yeah.
And we will be back in a couple weeks with a fan episode. Yes, we will take care of the people who took care of us and took care of Rockin' Pod.
You know
Whatever
what,
that
Ian?
is,
You know what, Ian? Before you go into that,
go ahead.
my fingers are crossed. Tommy Starachi falls off the wagon before fucking Rockin' Pod, so we can get a lot of cool drugs.
Yes. Yes. Look forward to the videos of us doing coke off Andrew Jacobs' wife's ass. Well, one of them.
Yeah, we're gonna
You know,
be playing modern day cowboy in the background.
yeah, we're gonna be smoking meth out her fucking neck.
Yeah.
Now that's a love song.
Ah, shit's hot, man. I'm getting hard.
Yeah. Find out what happens next week on the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast.
You know what? I got to bring this up for the show too. Man, the one thing I forgot to mention about Van Halen Fair Warning was in that same interview with the crab underwater, Dave said when Fair Warning came out, it goes, if you get Fair Warning and you stick it on with your other records, it'll melt your other records.
And that's a true story.
That's how I wanted to end the show. Dave forever, fuck Sammy Hagar.
Damn straight.